Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Dark Art Society podcast. I'm your host Chet, and today, finally, we have Sean Chatham on the podcast. I am such a huge fan of his work. If you know him, you know how amazing he is. He's an incredible painter, and his portraits are really something to aspire to. He's just, he's a super creative guy. We had a great conversation, really great guy to talk to. It went for, I think, over 2 hours because it just was one of those kind of conversations. I felt like I've known the guy all my life. Super great guy, super talented, great painter, and I'm looking forward to presenting that to you in a few minutes. What's going on with me? I'm working on this painting. It's kind of dark back here. You can't really see it, but it's a commission I'm doing. I've been doing these glow-in-the-dark paintings. Glow-in-the-dark subtractive paintings to just do something fun and affordable to help, pay for my life. Cover the bills. You can, I post them, I post them mostly in my Patreon, which is patreon.com/ChetZar. And those people have been buying them up first. These are my supporters. I consider my Patreon people kind of my hardcore supporters, people that'll pay at least $1 a month to check out what I'm doing and support me. Anyway, when you go to the Patreon, you get stuff for before anybody else. I always release everything there before it goes out to the public. So anyway, but yeah, I've been working on this commission and working on these glow-in-the-dark paintings, and that's about it, I guess. And I just enabled YouTube memberships for anybody who watches the pod on YouTube. You can now support us financially by joining as a member, and you get I haven't made them yet, but I'm going to make custom emojis and stuff and fun stuff like that. And you get the video podcast a day early at a certain level. There's 3 levels. I forgot how much they were. I just did it. So yeah, if you feel so inclined, I would greatly appreciate it. I make just barely enough to keep doing this pod, but I love it so much I don't want to stop, because I every interview, today particularly, I was just like, this is such a great interview, such an interesting guest, such a great conversation. So I really think the podcast is important, and there's not really another voice out there talking about dark art. So I want this thing to get big, just for the movement, really, to spread the good news of dark art. That's got me thinking. I was thinking about this yesterday. I wish more people, more artists, especially more dark artists, but I think more artists in general, would make podcasts. Because when I started this podcast, it was just me and Mike Carell, and it was more it's pretty conversational now, but it wasn't about interviewing artists or occultists or whoever we have on. It was more discussions me and him were having, and then he left, and then I just I had to figure out what to do with this podcast, so I started interviewing friends of mine who are artists. And you may have heard me say this before on the podcast, but I was like, I don't know if there's going to be enough artists to interview. Am I going to run out? And it's 6 years later, and I still haven't interviewed. I've only interviewed a fraction of the people I want to interview. It's like every time I think that there's not going to be enough artists, I realize there's just a whole world of artists out there, and all of the artists I've had on this podcast are so interesting. They're the most interesting people, I think. And so anyway, I wish more people would do a podcast like this, even if it's not making any money, just doing it for fun, just to get the word out and help promote other artists. So if anyone is on the fence about it, and you're in this community, I'm happy to shout you out on this podcast and help your podcast grow. And I'm all about the community. So, I would encourage you to do that if you were thinking about it. I think it'd be really cool, even if it was once a month podcast, just for fun. It's really great. It's really great. It's a great way to talk to other artists and get to know them and learn and not feel so alone in this world as an artist. Anyway, let's see. The art life. Skull Shop. Patreon. Okay, the Dark Art Society has its own Patreon, and that is patreon.com/Dark Art Society. You can join for as little as $1, get the audio podcast a day early, and at the $5 level, you get a 30% discount. No, 20%. Is it 30%? I can't remember. I'm sorry. It's a good percentage discount off of Skull Shop Skull. SkullShoppe.com. They make the most amazing skulls. I use them for all my paintings. I'm about to start a new one for the Blab show coming up. You know, they're amazing. And they're really affordable. I don't know how he does it. But you get this big percentage discount. I think it's 30%, but that seems like a lot. I don't know. Anyway, if you join at the $5 and above level, you get that, and you support the podcast, you get that discount, and so patreon.com/Dark Art Society. Another thing I forgot. At some point I stopped reading people's names who joined the Patreon, and I apologize for that. But I think it's because not a lot of people were joining, and so I stopped because there wasn't people to read their names off. But I went back to the last one I remember saying on the podcast, and I'm going to say these members right now, people who joined, I don't know, in the last few months. And that is Nate Kelly, The Nishad, Hanar Kelly, Gregor Sabinovic, Jaden Dabrowski. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. It means the world to me. If I didn't have financial support, I would have to drop the podcast because I just couldn't afford to do it. You get your name shouted out if you join on YouTube as well. Aside from, like I said, there's other cool benefits. It's going to be fun. There's a whole little community forming on the YouTube platform because we do the live chat too every Wednesday when it premieres, and it's really fun. And I feel like chatting with my friends, the new friends I made through YouTube, it's really fun. So if you're hearing this, check us out on YouTube also at 9 a.m. almost every Wednesday. I missed the last 3 weeks for a bunch of different reasons, but that happens from time to time. But I'm back on with Sean Chatham today. Next week we got Mitch Horowitz, which I'm excited about. I got a bunch of cool artists lined up too that I've been wanting to have on for a while. I just am scheduling right now. So lots of good stuff coming, and I think that is it. I read the names. Yeah, okay, let's get on with it. Great interview with Sean Chatham. Here we go, and I hope you like it. Hello, Sean.
Hey, Chet. How are you?
Good. Finally.
For having me.
Thank you for being here. I you're one of the people I had on my list maybe 4 or 5 years now, and I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why I never asked you. I usually kind of like I'll see someone post something and it reminds me, I want to get that person on, and then I'll hit them up. It's like I should be scheduling months in advance, but I never do.
I haven't posted that much in the last 5 years, so it's probably my fault. I don't get seen anymore.
Actually,
sort of just stopped. Like, I feel like it's a waste posting nowadays, but
yeah, it is. It is. Actually, I saw that you're having a workshop, and I was thinking, oh, that's kind of a good excuse to have them on to promote this online. You're having an online workshop, right?
Yeah. I've been trying to do that a little bit. I've been teaching like over 20 years now. I started in 2002, so been teaching a long time, but it was always in person. And then after the pandemic and everything kind of shut down, I started to try online, but it just wasn't easy. But I'm just keep doing it again. It's pretty fun. I do enjoy if I can when I can get it right and just do like a quick little seminar like that. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like the response has been good, and I've done a few.
Good.
But just got back from my European summer that I do, and figured I need to book something. And while I'm on a roll, and it's
Cool.
a lot of sign up so far. Yeah,
Oh, good. Yeah, I've been thinking as you know, we're always having to come up with ways of making money as full timers, and I
yeah,
was thinking of doing some kind of online demo or some kind of paint class or
yeah.
something.
You should.
You know.
Do you don't do Patreon or anything?
Yeah, I do Patreon. But I'm
Okay.
thinking like a side thing that just
Yeah, that was the thing I had to figure out. It's like, well, I'm putting so much, like, I feel bad for my patrons because I haven't posted in months. And it's like, it's just so much work to do the videos. You know, I love teaching, I love talking about it, I like doing it. But the whole, like, being a film editor, producer,
I know.
whatever, like, that's not on my list to do list at all or my interest list. But luckily, my girlfriend helps me out with that. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah, yeah. But then I feel bad. Like she's got her own career to work on.
Yeah.
Too. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what's the difference between Patreon and like doing a video. You know why? Like, 'cause Patreon is like seems like $5 is sort of the average, but it's a lot of work for $5.
Well, yeah, it's all about the numbers. You know, I
Right,
start
yeah.
when I set mine up, I was like, okay, I have it at the $1, which I should have done
Oh,
$2.
nice.
I should have
Okay.
done $2 because they say that that if you make way more money with $2 than you do with $1 because of the way they charge their, I don't know, something about the way they charge the card and how much interest they take. It makes more sense to do $2, and $2 and $1 isn't a big difference. But anyway, I did that
Yeah.
for my lowest level, and then I got like a $3 and then a $5 and a $10 and a $50. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, but it's way too many. I should have done just 3. Now I know all these. I'll have to do an episode on Patreon at one point because I know I figured out so many of the problems because I did it wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
That's how we learn, right? That's how we get through life.
exactly. But I figured it's like I've got all these people on Instagram, and it's just a matter of getting as many people over there, and it's like pays my mortgage every month. You know, it's like
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Excellent.
So it's definitely worth it in that respect. And I know some artists that are making like 10 grand a month.
I know some, I think, making double that actually
Crazy.
too. It's crazy. I mean, it's a full-time job, but that's a great full-time job.
Yeah,
I think.
absolutely. I like the idea of these are the people that are enough of a fan that they're willing to put money down, even if it's a small amount, because they're interested in what I'm doing. And I like the idea of just creating for them. You know, just like
Absolutely.
it's this small. It's like I don't know, 300 people that are paying on mine. It's like I'm totally cool to do like the top 300 people who are directly supporting me, and really focusing on them rather than like 100,000 people who are kind of like, yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, they just happen to follow for the hell of it. You know, so
Yeah. That's how I always looked at it, and then I just started doing it, and I didn't build up the momentum enough, and I know you got to kind of stick it out and do it.
That's exactly what Gabe Leonard did. He started his, and Christopher Ulrich too. It's like Gabe started one, and he was just found like to be too much work to maintain, and Ulrich did the same thing. But the way it ended up being with me was my Patreon at the dollar level is basically what my Instagram used to be. On Instagram, I used to just post everything I was working on. At the end of every day, I would post pictures throughout the day. And that's basically my $1 level. And now on Instagram, it's like if I'm promoting something to sell, or I have like more of a major piece that the Patreon people have already seen, or old stuff. Because people a lot of people haven't seen a bunch of old paintings I've done, and you know,
right.
So it kind of
that's a good way to do it. That's I think what I've been thinking, and now I just have to kind of do that.
But I found I took a poll in my Patreon and asked why people are supporting me there. And it was like 70% of the people who answered was like, just to support. Like they don't even care.
That's cool.
And I bet you would find that most people, and that's like the ones I support. That's why I do. It's like, I don't even look at them. They're just like people I think what they're doing is worth supporting, or they're friends of mine or something, so.
Yeah. So I feel like at that point, at this point, that's all I've got. I haven't posted in so long, so everyone's just being supportive. Right. Or they've forgotten that it's coming out of their bank account. But what do you do with your $50? Is that like a critique type of thing or interaction?
Oh no, deal? I've got a 50 and I got 100, and the 50 is for collectors who like they get like everything below, plus a 20% ongoing discount in my web shop for whatever I'm paintings or whatever. So it ends up
that's cool.
Being a pretty good deal. And then the $100 is everything below, plus a 1 hour monthly mentorship for
cool.
artists. Yeah, which has been
that's
amazing.
That's the thing I've been thinking about doing, just because I do that anyway with people. But if I could funnel it through Patreon, like have a tier, that's what my girlfriend does too. She's got her like art club group, and it's those people that get the special meetings, 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, she's great.
I seem to like it.
I'd like to get her on the show too, if I don't know if she's interested, but I'd love to have her.
Yeah, she's always on podcast. She'd be great.
Okay, yeah, she's amazing.
Painting in the other room right now.
Awesome. That's so cool. But I was watching some videos of you, some interviews of you, doing a little research, and I didn't realize you've been teaching so long. It's crazy.
I know. It's like, where'd the time go?
I know.
2002. I graduated Art Center 2002, and same month I got asked to teach. Like I got asked to teach when I was graduating. That LA Academy of Figurative Art was just opening, so they like recruited like a bunch of people from my class and teachers, just because the connections were like through Art Center. So yeah, just like I graduated August, started teaching in August, and it was like, oh my God, here we go. I thought I'd start when I was like 50 or something,
Yeah, right.
Be an old man and teach, but it set me on a different path right away.
Yeah, that's like, and also I'm sure you would agree, but because I started teaching, I didn't start teaching until 2010. I got invited to a tattoo convention, and I didn't even know I had this big fan base in the tattoo world. And then I got invited, and the guy's like, do a painting class. I was like, all right. And a bunch of people showed up, but once I started having to teach, I realized like that made me so much of a better painter, because it was like, okay, I can't just be intuitive anymore. I have to really break down what the hell I'm doing. Because a lot of what I was doing was like sort of feeling it. You know what I mean? Yeah,
absolutely. That's actually for me the opposite, where like, because I started teaching so soon, I didn't even have a career yet. Like
that makes sense.
And I came. It's like you come out of school with all this intuition, and then you've got to go to like, now I got to break it down. And like when I'd be at home painting by myself, I would overthink every mark I made, because I'm like, well, I got to make sure I'm doing it for a reason and doing it correctly or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it kind of screwed me up in the beginning, that exact thing. But now after so long, it's actually makes me a better, more thoughtful painter, because I can, walk through a demo, no problem. I don't think I've blown a demo in years, because it's just like, go through the steps I'm laying out, and you should get it right.
Right.
Like drawing, just measure. If you're drawing, you just measure it. And when you're, measuring color, you can do the same thing. And I think talking through it made me a better painter, because it's just more efficient, like that kind of measure twice, cut once mentality.
Yeah. I actually want to, I'm going to try and, I don't know, make an extra sale or something and do your demo, because it's like I've gotten in the last, 2 years, I've really gotten into doing portraits, just because people have asked me. I've done them and I can do them, but I can't do them. It's hard for me to get a likeness. It's like, that's the hardest part. It's difficult. It doesn't come. I can crank out some weird monster like nothing.
Yeah.
Because that's all I've been focusing on from my imagination. But getting a likeness is probably the hardest thing for me. So I really feel like I want to focus more on that to get better at it. And
right on.
so I'm gonna take your class.
I'll send you the link. Don't tell anybody.
I'll cut that out.
Yeah, just delete that part.
I remember your mud palette was floating around too. That was like an image that looked like it was for a class, and it was going on.
Some magazine made that based on some drawing they had seen that I had done of just the diagram, but they made it in full color.
Oh, really?
For some article. Yeah, it was for an article about me, but like that article was it was like a 12-page article, and it couldn't be more like lost in translation. I read the thing. I'm like, what? Did you interview me? Like, I would have never said any of that. So like we had to go edit it. Like I had to edit so much of it and send it back. But that was part of that. And like I didn't make it. It was just like somebody kind of tried to interpret what I was talking about. And
that's so funny.
Then it made the rounds. And I never really called it mud palette. That was something like Huster called it, like because I trained with him in school. And, and since people knew that, they just would say the mud palette. And,
okay.
I guess you could call it a mud palette, and people do, and it's fine. I get the idea is you're just creating these muds, which are like averages, and then from there you can saturate. And,
right. Yeah.
It creates harmony by having that middle. Yeah. I think that came out. I feel like that article was probably like 2005 or something. So
wow.
20 years.
Crazy. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your childhood and stuff, because I heard that you said you wanted to get into the movie business, and I have to say you made the right choice, because I was in the movie business and I got out of it after 20 years to start painting. And it was great job. I really have no complaints. Amazing as far as jobs go, but you know, the fact that you were able to go, you know what, you mentioned this in this interview, like, I'll be able to do whatever I want and make paintings instead of, I don't know, that. And that's the problem with the movie business. It's like, you're always a pair of hands for somebody else. It's rarely that you get to express yourself. And that's what really got to me. So you made that right decision, and I'm envious. Like, I always think, man, I wish I would have just started painting when I started makeup effects, because I was like 18 years old and I got in there. And
wow, crazy.
But I mean, I feel like I got a lot because I was primarily a sculptor, but I was also a painter in that. So I think I learned a lot just in this weird roundabout way, like about how light and falls across form and stuff, because I'm sitting there sculpting every day.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I made the right choice. I made a choice that, like, I know a lot of people wish they would have made, but I also look at friends who are still doing like entertainment or advertising type of stuff, you know, whatever we went to school for, and they're doing pretty well.
Making
still
bank.
Fun. They're buying homes or whatever.
They have health insurance.
I'm not doing. I don't have that. Currently I'm uninsured, so
shit. Yeah.
I use the clinic when I break a bone. But yeah, I just like, I thought I wanted to do storyboarding. I don't know why that was the thing.
Yeah.
Because maybe just being a drawer, you know, as a young person, you draw more than paint. And then maybe once I got into painting in school, like the oil painting classes, I really fell in love with that medium and knew it was completely not really related to the storyboarding and all that I wanted to do. And all those teachers that were sort of former illustrators were talking about how illustration was dead. And, you know, this is in the late 90s. Illustration's already dead, and I'm in an illustration program. And then, but so they're all just doing paintings now. And then they, and I was like, well, that's cool. You get to paint whatever you want, you know, sell it. And I would go to their shows. You know, I didn't think at the time about the 50% that was being taken out. You know,
right.
That might have been less desirable if I knew the truth of it all. But I don't know. I still think about like what would have happened if I got a real job. I think I could do it. That's what I trained for. You know, I trained to be a hired hand, and I'm okay with that. And I love working with other people's ideas and then bringing them, you know, sort of bringing them to life for them if I can somehow.
Right.
Or showing them, you know, things they didn't think about. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if I guess I don't regret my choices at all. I still, for the most part, do what I want. wake up when I want.
Yeah. It's the
Do what
best.
I want when I want. Yeah.
It's like that's why we are willing to suffer the uncertain paycheck and all the other problems that come with being self-employed, because we can do whatever we want and wake up whenever we want and paint in your underwear or whatever, just not have to deal with the real world kind of in a lot of ways for the most part.
Definitely.
It's worth it. It's worth the trade-off, but it's very difficult. It's a very, it's a difficult way to make a living,
Yeah, it's a hustle. It's a grind all the time. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And I know, there's people who are doing really, really well doing this thing, and there's people who are doing terribly. I'm somewhere in the middle, maybe. I don't know. I'm surviving. Paying my bills, most of my bills. Paying for
yeah, it sounds like we're in kind of the same boat, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm managing.
Just managing, yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Okay, so as a kid, were you a drawing kid or an art kid?
For sure. Oh, I was the kid that the teachers let get out of class so I could go work on the poster for the school thing or whatever.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was always that. Even when I started college, it's like, well, you just go outside and draw while we're doing this assignment. Okay. That's
so cool.
I guess I just sit outside drawing by myself. So yes, I always did it. My family did it. My mother I always mention my mom because she's Chinese, so that side of the family has all the artists for the most part.
Wow.
Designer. My grandfather was a sculptor and a painter, but also my uncle, who I grew up around. My uncle, who was my mom's only sibling, and he did construction, but so he had tools for building, and I made, I wanted to make chainmail and swords and stuff because I used to go to the Renaissance fair, and so he's the guy that would help me. He'd help me with that creative part, building, and he was always excited to do that. And then my mom's other cousins would come over from China and could draw, academically. And so it was what was around for me.
I'm telling you, man.
Grandfather sculpted, painted, all that stuff professionally too.
I worked in China on a movie in Beijing for 4 months, and they sent some art students to help on the crew. The FX crew, and every art student was a complete badass, pro level oil painter. I couldn't believe it. It's they have some kind, I don't know, high standards or really good schools or something in China, or at least in Beijing, because everyone I saw there that was an art student was seriously professional level work. It really blew my mind.
Yeah, crazy, cool.
Yeah. So there's definitely a lineage of great painters from China for sure.
Yeah, there's that. And I don't, only knew it through family, but I know those academies, those academic type, they're like Russian academies. I don't know. There's a lot of crossover with those two, I feel and some of the best, as far as for academic realism and everything.
Right.
So I think I just kind of was in the blood. I know there's people out there who don't believe in talent being sort of passed through generations, but I do, because I'm a product of it. And my son is also in the same boat. And he doesn't draw that. He used to draw and paint a lot. Now he's way into music and guitar, but he'll do a painting once a year, oil painting, and it looks like he's been painting all year long. He learned something without painting all year, just by being alive.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's just because it is in the blood doesn't mean you also, if it's not in your blood, you can't learn it. You can learn how to do it, even if it's not in the blood. But it definitely is in the blood. I've seen enough people to prove it to me. And my mom was always into art, and my aunt was a really good color pencil, super good realist artist, and my stepdad was a painter, which isn't in the blood, but he still raised me since I was 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, it's there.
So it was always
that's the other part, where if it's not in your blood, you can still absorb it and take things from people. Yeah, no, I think you can get a head start, it just depends on how, and if you're surrounded by it, that's huge, just being in a family where the family of mine who came over from China, we couldn't speak to each other because I didn't speak Chinese, but we could draw together. And so
cool.
it was like kind of just part of life, like at Christmas dinner, my dad would be passed out after dinner on the couch, and my mom's cousin would be doing a drawing of him. And I remember him doing these drawings, and they're beautiful shading and everything. And
That's so cool.
just, it's just part of life.
Wow. What part of China do they come from?
I think Shanghai.
Oh, okay.
I know that like my mom was from Hawaii, and like her parents met. I think they met in Hawaii, but they're both from China. And I feel like my grandfather actually was maybe born in Hawaii
Hmm.
and then moved back to China very young. But he went to like Shanghai Academy of Art for painting and everything. Like I have his old paint kit and stuff
Oh,
somewhere.
cool, man.
Yeah, it's a cool, like it's one of those cool pals that has a spacer and folds open, and it's still got all this paint on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he was painting some sort of landscape, there's a couple brushes in there. The cool old kit.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you were really, another thing that kind of resonated with me is you were influenced by Star Wars,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I
like
was
we all
about of
were.
age. I mean, I was born in '77, so it came out right when Star Wars came out. But like, I grew up with it too. I
Right.
must have seen it at least Jedi into theater, but still
I,
pretty young. But I was way into it.
yeah, I was like, I think I'm 10 years older than you. So I saw it
Okay,
in the theater with the lines around the building when I was like 10 years old or somewhere
crazy.
around there. It
Okay,
was so amazing.
yeah,
And so it's kind of like everybody knows Star Wars now. And to even
yeah,
talk about it is kind of like, yeah, whatever. But at the time, it was like there was nothing like it. It was so incredible. But
yeah,
I was as inspired as well. But I was like, had a Super 8 film camera and I was trying to make little movies and
nice.
blowing up
Yeah,
my Star Wars, the whatever the bad guys'
those,
spaceships were. I was
yeah,
is it
yeah,
the I don't know, not the X-wing, but whatever. I was like sticking
yeah.
firecrackers in and filming it
Oh,
because
awesome.
I was trying and
Oh man,
setting
that's cool.
fires because I was like I was so inspired by all the like explosions and lasers and stuff.
Oh, that's incredible. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but also the creatures in the cantina, which were Rick Baker, who I just had on the pod recently. He made all that
Awesome.
stuff, when he was practically a kid.
Yeah, yeah, it's so cool. And then when I got a little older, when I was going to art center, my mom's cousin was dating this guy Eric Tiemens, he was big at like Star Wars, doing the drawings. When it was like they were doing, I think he was there when they were doing the sort of rebooted ones in the late '90s,
Hmm.
and then all the newer stuff. He was kind of higher up there, working in the big house. The five guys at Skywalker Ranch that get to
That's
work in
cool.
the cool house. So he was just around, and I knew he did that stuff, and I thought like, that's like the dream. Like this guy is big time there, and I want to do that. And he'd take me out painting or whatever, landscape painting. I don't know. I was like, what are you doing? Like it's so colorful. But I look back, it's like it was such a badass plein air painting, when I was just a
Right.
little 15 years old. I'm like, it looks like kind of weird colors, man. It's really bright. I'm just like sketching a tree trunk or whatever. Just
Yeah.
didn't get it,
Yeah, I remember
but I
being in
knew I wanted to be part of it.
right. I remember being in high school, my teacher trying to get me to mix my complementary colors. And I was like, no, black. I'm going to put black in to darken it. And I was just, you're at that age where you think you know better than everyone else, just a
Yeah.
obnoxious teenager. And I remember like, I would always resist that and try and darken my colors with black instead of graying things down. And years later, I was like, when I started finally painting, I didn't start painting until 2000 is when I was like, I'm going to be a painter. And I was like, damn, she was right. Once I started, I felt like an idiot.
Yeah. Oh shit.
But you know how
Well,
that goes.
in that workshop I'm doing, I'm going to use black
I use
for
black.
darkening.
I mean, I use black all the time. I've always used black, but not in
Yeah.
the way I was using it. Sometimes I darken with black for certain colors. Sometimes
Yeah. Yeah. I
it
do it.
works. But it's not like darken everything with black is always the best idea.
No, no, not at all. And it's good to learn compliments and all that. I didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of art in high school. I went to Catholic high school, so we are like
Oh.
Jesuit, hardcore Catholic. So we had one art class, I think, per year.
Okay.
which was, and that was my place I liked to be though. That's where I
Right.
felt comfortable, and teacher, knew I was into art and was very helpful with that. It was like the hippie lady at the school,
Oh, nice.
when I went to.
Yeah, that's usually the art teacher.
I remember she wore this jumpsuit, and you could see she just wouldn't wear underwear because she had like this slide, the buttons were open on the side. It was like the total hippie art teacher at the Catholic school.
That's great. Yeah, I got lucky because there was like this AP art program for my
Oh, that's
when I was
cool.
a senior. So actually, it was like 2 periods of art, and it was just working on getting a portfolio for college together. So it was
That's
really,
amazing.
yeah, it
Wow.
was so much fun. I just love that class. But then I ended up not going. I was going to go to Cal Arts because I had
Okay.
my brother's friend. Even though Art Center would have been better probably. I had just my brother's friend, my older brother's friend went there and took me, and I was all like enamored with it. And but I bailed at the last minute because I was like, I just want to get in the movie business. I know I can get in the movie business, and so I got in about a year after, and just never worked until 20 2009 or something, 2013.
Wow.
Whenever the
Okay.
Land of the Lost remake came out, because that's the last thing I worked on.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Cal Arts was good. I think Art Center when I went there was sort of illustration was still a thing, still
Hmm.
the biggest program. But I think the car design, automotive design, all
Yeah.
that. We didn't have as much like entertainment art when I went there. It's sort of like there was people who did it, but by the time I was teaching there was like a sort of a branch for it or part of under the illustration umbrella, there was the entertainment arts sort of, I don't know what they called it,
Right.
the wing or the
Mm.
leg or what, arm, one of those things. But they didn't, so I didn't really like feel like when I was in school there was that as many of those instructors for me to follow that sort of Star Warsy
Right.
um, idea or the storyboarding. I just didn't know anybody there that was teaching it. And then I met early on like the Clayton brothers, those
Oh
guys.
yeah, I remember those guys.
Because they're big, like lowbrow pop surreal guys, folk art type of stuff. And
Yeah.
so I took a class with them as part of one of the classes to get into Art Center, like these night classes. And it was like to me that was like kind of almost maybe changed my whole trajectory because I was just like,
Wow.
oh, these guys are cool,
Yeah.
super cool, super, just different.
What was
And
it like taking a class from them, because they're not figurative realists, It's like
well, at that
super.
point, I wasn't doing figurative work or anything. I was just sort of like, I did community college. And in community college, I had figure drawing, but it was never like a big part of my life. I didn't care about it as much. And then I
Mm.
did watercolor class where we're doing like kind of hyper real watercolor rendering. And that spoke to me a lot because I was 17 and like, rendering is cool when you're a kid.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, it's cool. It's cool when you're an adult too, but like, it's the most attractive thing, like
Yeah. Yeah.
hyperreal rendering. So,
Yes.
so that's where I just kind of was like, I didn't really at that point know exactly what I wanted to do. I liked that guy who taught me the watercolor. He was showing in galleries in San Francisco, and he was just super cool. I thought that was cool. But then when I went to Art Center, yeah, I was like, I met the Clayton brothers so early that it just sort of like, oh, I want to do maybe some editorial work because they're kind of doing it and doing like maybe the music reviews in Rolling Stone magazine. All those illustrations were super
Hmm.
cool and that kind of stuff. But they were the ones telling us that illustration's dead.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like this weird battle where you're like these guys you look up to and you want to do what they're doing are telling you the art form is dead or at least the business side of it is dying and dead. So
Right.
I just can't, I know I still pursued it, but pretty early on we had to learn painting and take these oil painting classes, which I didn't was not into it. When I first tried oil
Wow.
painting, it was like, God, this medium sucks.
That's
All I
funny.
know how to make is chalky colors and browns. So, and I felt good about mixing colors, doing watercolors. I was pretty good at mixing matching colors. But once I got into oil paint, the medium was so unruly. It was weird. And I just didn't have a love for it. But we had to take these classes. There was no choice in the illustration department. And I think once I got the hang for it and I started seeing really cool paintings from some of the guys that were at Art Center at the time, there was some major talent like that was above a few years ahead of us. Like where, guys like Aaron Weisenfeld, if you know his
Yeah.
work, but
Yeah, he's great.
like he was like this guy for his like we'd have to have our scholarship wall and put up our stuff. Like he's putting up stuff he did for like Marvel. Like, oh my God,
Wow.
this guy, like this guy's a real legitimate working artist, and we're competing for like scholarship money.
Wow.
It's like, oh God, we're all screwed.
Yeah,
Or
that's
like
not fair.
I remember a couple big painters, like Rupert von Kaufman was there. I don't know if you know his
I don't
work.
know him.
Amazing painter. And these guys were doing huge oil paintings at the school too, where it's just like, oh my God, was like incredible work. And so I think that, there's a couple other people too. I remember Kevin Chen, who's a great teacher. He was there. And just like the oil paintings that I saw from some of these guys that were just like the next, generation in front of us, I think inspired me to want to do that. And then the teachers I had, like Husser and a couple other the instructors that were teaching the oil painting were just cool illustrators that did stuff like movie posters and things,
Yeah.
and so they had the touch for painting, but then they were oil painting, and I got into it pretty quickly and fell in love with it like in that first 2 years of school, and just like knew that that's what I wanted to do was oil paint. I
Wow.
really quickly shifted out of like, Clayton Brothers was one thing and I liked them. And I studied with them all throughout my education taking because I just liked that they would kind of push me out of what I was heading
Right.
towards always,
Hmm.
which was nice. They just kept you thinking and kept your mind. Like that was some of the biggest lessons I got from them was just trying to think outside the box.
Hmm.
I mean, like one of the first things they have you do in their class was like, the old like art test in the magazines of like the turtle or the pirate
Hmm.
that like that little just copy the drawing and they
Yep.
wanted us to just that was homework one week do it, so I just copy it like perfectly. That's how I was thinking at the time, and they
And they're
wanted
like, F.
all these other people. Yeah, it's like other people came in doing weird things that didn't look anything like it, and there's a big lesson for me, like, oh,
Right.
okay, I get that, get what you're saying,
That's
be an
funny.
artist.
Yeah. Yeah. I was wondering what their class must have been like. It's like, I can't
It was
imagine.
so fun,
How
to
do
be
you
honest. Like
teach what they do? It seems like it's more about freeing your mind up from what you think you should do or something.
I think it was. They showed us a lot of cool artsy movies, introduced us to stuff like the Brothers Quay and like
Oh,
cool
cool.
animations and, all these cool things like that you just like exposed us to lots of different types of art and like questioned us when we were, coming into it with like something a little too safe or boring. And like, I don't know. And then they were just young. They're much younger than I am now, but like at the time, they seemed like these guys you look up to, but they were probably just like late 20s or something,
Right.
and I was early 20s. And then there was two of them, so that was cool, and they had tons of tattoos. So like, oh, these guys are cool. They're just like, well, cool dudes. And then they just like, I don't know, I liked their work. It was fun. And not only that, like sometimes when I was working on paintings in their class that would be more, kind of more similar to their style, they were able to like do stuff on the paintings, like demonstration stuff that like was really solid, and
Wow.
I still remember some of the lessons that were taught, and then even like Rob Clayton had a class there where it was just him teaching, and it was like media experimentation. So every week we did a whole new medium and like a different like weird technique where we'd like lay down a bunch of gouache in reverse to stain it, and then you wash it under the sink and to like make it all crumble off in a
Oh,
cool way.
that
And like,
sounds fun.
and so every week we got a little technique, and then we had to do a piece. So every week I'd make a brand new painting in that class, and it was amazing. Like that was
Yeah.
so cool and so fun. Like just to like, and I got to like do portraits in there. I got to do it if that's what I wanted to do, and I was doing like I did a series of like blues musician portraits, and so they're kind of more caricature and fun and maybe similar to what I was thinking about the Rolling Stone kind of illustrations and
Hmm.
things. And that was just really fun, a lot of work, but very eye-opening. And I still use like some of the techniques today. I really enjoyed like getting to play with materials in school
That's interesting.
more than the classes with oil painting and this is how you do it. Those are fun too, but like
Right.
I liked the classes where we had a handful of those where we would they encourage you to like use the tools wrong, or
Right.
destroy your art and then build it back up, and like that. The kind of freedom there was great, and you learn a lot by making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. Do you think that do those guys, the Clayton brothers, because I've thought about them a lot, like over the years, like that type of artist where it's like this
Hmm.
kind of primitive folk art. It's like, do they have a background in representational work? Like, could they paint a portrait that looks kind of realistic, or are they just like they don't even
I
go
think so.
there?
I mean, their work has gone further away from it, but that was the thing. Like Chris Clayton, I remember like helped me paint this like the horizon colors over the mountain, like, and it was solid, as solid as
Mm,
any other demonstration I got from somebody, and it wasn't his thing, but he had the knowledge. So yeah, that's what I feel like, and I think their work was maybe a little more, maybe had a little, I don't know. It's changed. It's gone much looser, I think, over the years, or I
I
don't
haven't
know
seen their
exactly what
stuff
they're.
in forever.
I, I haven't either, and it got maybe more colorful, more line based, and which is fine. But I think what in the beginning when I was teaching, studying with them, they were, they could do things with likeness, I guess, if they wanted to, but they just didn't. But they had
Right.
beautiful surfaces. I mean, like beautiful paint quality, beautiful surfaces,
Hmm.
design, color, all that stuff. So it was just the fact that they were doing it by choice,
Right.
which was nice to see. And I had other teachers like that, like this guy Jason Hawley. I don't know if you know his work. He's still sort of
I don't think
doing
so.
more illustration, I think, but similar kind of thing. But he beautiful paintings, with acrylics and a little bit of oil glazing, but had a little bit of a folky quality. But he could draw and paint anything, and like that same thing. Like he would just like, why do you like Nerdrum? Like, look at somebody else, like
Right.
look at Rembrandt. Like he would always kind of like, don't look at like these people, that are working right now. Look at who they were looking at, or look at whatever. This like kind of things that were important little nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think that, or for me, I guess I should say, for me, I wasn't able to really appreciate that kind of artwork, that more primitive style, until I became older and I started painting and I kind of understood what fine art really is.
Hmm.
But as a kid, I was like a really opinionated little kid even when I was little. Like if I liked
Yeah.
something or didn't like something, I automatically knew. And I remember my dad took me to Watts Towers, that place where there's somewhere in Watts. I
These
think
are
it's still
murals,
there.
right?
It's like this guy
Murals.
built all these like weird towers, and there's painted on the rocks and painted, and
Yeah.
everything's
Okay.
painted. It's very, but it's all very folk art style, like real kind of cartoony, very primitive, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember going, "Oh, we're going to go to this place with this artist made it," and I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and I remember being like totally disappointed because it was like none of this looks real.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was my truly. I mean, when you're a kid, you're not pretentious or anything. You just know what you like. You don't know enough to be
Right.
pretentious, So
Yeah.
naturally, I was attracted to Frazetta. It's like I saw that when I was a kid, and I was like, that's amazing, just right away. And the stuff that was more like folk arty, I was just sort of like, they don't know how to draw. And
Yeah.
but
Right.
but as when you get older, it's kind of like your taste. It's just like developing a taste for wine or whatever. As you get older, things that
Right. Yeah.
don't seem like they
Something
taste
that's
good taste good.
disgusting when you're a kid. Yeah, that's terrible.
Why does anybody drink this or beer?
Yeah. Like, yeah. Or coffee, even coffee. Like,
Hmm.
oh, what? I love the flavor of that now. Yeah. It's
Right.
funny. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I remember being in high school and studying, like, we had to study a little bit of like, Diego Rivera and that stuff.
Hmm.
That's somewhere
Yeah.
in between, kind of folky and not
Right.
as real, but still plenty of realism going on. And I think I didn't get it so much. Didn't care.
And so, I mean, that's
I wasn't.
no. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to be seduced by color so easily.
Yeah. Right.
I needed some hyper realism.
Yeah. So I
Needed
get.
some rendering.
I guess that's what I'm getting at. Is obviously you that was your natural attraction as well as to more real representational type of work,
For sure.
like the work that
Yeah.
you do now. You know.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. But then I don't know what it was like about, I don't know why I took that class. I don't know if someone suggested it to me. I took the class and it like changed my whole thing. Met one
Yeah.
of my good friends in there who I went to school with the whole time. We formed a band together and everything. So just like everything about it was like the right time, and they were super inspiring. I think I was still like, as much as I came from like thinking rendering was cool and wanting to do, entertainment stuff. Like I was pretty open
Yeah.
and willing to like hear what people had to say and being sort of influenced by other people. Pretty easily influenced, I guess, in some way.
That's good. That's a good thing at that
Yeah,
age,
I
you
think
know?
it was better than, especially then, I could have been the opposite. Just been like, I mean, I knew plenty of people who thought those guys were terrible artists.
Yeah. That's what I
It's
used
like,
to, when I first saw them,
yeah,
I thought that too. It wasn't
yeah,
until
but they're
like
not. I
years
mean, they
later
weren't.
I understood what it was all about, just basically
Yeah,
there's many different types of art, and it's general, unless it's, even if it's really truly bad. Now there's an appreciation for that. There's that museum. I don't know. Remember that website, the Museum of Bad Art, where they would just get like
I've heard of it, but yeah,
thrift store paintings, just terrible amateur paintings, and it's like there's a market for that even now.
yeah.
It's
There's a market for everything for sure.
there's an ass for every seat, they say.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, yeah. How did you get started on the whole portrait thing? Because
So because we
you're a
got to
built,
take these.
you can paint. I mean, I've seen a lot of paintings you've done that aren't portraits, and they're just as good as your portraits. So it's like, why did you settle on
Thanks.
portraits?
I don't know. I think just doing head painting class, like literally class where we painted portraits just from here up, it was never, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe like from here up, but barely. I just like something about that. Like I fell in love with capturing people's likenesses and character, and
It's
yeah,
such
I
a
don't
good
know, like
feeling
something.
when you capture a person's likeness. It feels so
It
good.
is, and like, and I think I'd seen some teachers do it so well, where it's like I want to do that,
Yeah,
and I don't know, the sort of a la prima, wet into wet. You're doing it, and you're doing it's pretty instant gratification, at
yeah,
least within like 5 hours, and like it just became the thing that like I fell in love with from taking head painting classes and multiple portrait painting classes and just other people. I guess some of my other peers at school were into it. There's just like that buzz. Everybody wanted to do it. And
mm,
I mean, I still liked figure painting, landscape painting, all the still life painting, whatever we did. I was semi interested in illustration, but I just, once I started doing portraits in oil, for some reason, I was like, this is what I want to do. And I
yeah.
was always decent with getting a likeness and just copying what I could see, seeing whether it was a foot, a hand, a figure, portrait or anything. So I think just I could choose what was interesting to me, and it was just portraits. And then at some point, before I graduated, I even had like a book on one of the modern portrait painters. I forget who it was, Kinsler, Raymond Kinsler. He was like doing political, the portraits of like judges and
Hmm.
senators and those like real portrait painters,
Yeah.
doing the official stuff. And I even remember bringing in a book to my teacher and saying, one day I want to paint the president. I want to be like the guy who does the presidential portrait. And then at some point, like I could care less about doing that,
Yeah.
especially right now. Don't ask me to paint that. Like no,
Maybe my portrait of the president would be more appropriate. One of
yeah,
my horrible
yeah.
creatures. Uh,
Yeah, so but that was sort of a goal, like at one point, like to be at that level painting portraits. Now I don't think I don't know, I would like to make the money they make on a portrait for a
right.
portrait, but like to be part of that world, I don't think I'm interested.
Yeah.
Even just like portraits for normal rich people, like I'm just like, it's cool. And I do it. I mean, I do commissions all the time, and some are portraits, some are
Yeah.
slightly more like figurative, like this one behind me, but it's still sort of a portrait. But yeah, I don't know. I just fell in love with it, and I do love painting people's portraits. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I still really enjoy doing it from live, mostly live. I don't really do stuff from photos as much unless it's a job.
Yeah.
But something about that, I don't know. It's
That's
fun.
the gold standard as far as I'm concerned, is being able to do a portrait from life, which I can't even say I've done, because I've only painted from life a few times, and one time was with Sean Barber. He let me sit in on a class, and and I was like, I painted her, but it didn't look like her, and I could not figure it out. I've told this story a million times on the podcast, and he's like, "Do you mind?" And I said, "Sure." And he went and he made like 2 or 3 strokes. Boom! It looked just like her, and I was like, "How the fuck did you do that?" And really, ever since I've really been intrigued with that, and so it's like it's come up. Portraits of like straight portraits of people have come up through commissions and stuff, and I do them from photos, and I can do them, but man, it's I did like a whole bunch of these little studies of 5, I don't know, maybe it's 10 years, I can't even tell anymore, years ago, of like all these horror movies I liked, like Frankenstein and Dracula, all these old school black and white, because then I didn't have to worry about color, and I was just trying to paint them without tracing or anything, because in a pinch I'll just project it and trace it, because it's like, okay,
I mean,
I'll
that's
get the
one
likeness.
of the first things. Yeah, that's what we learned. One of the first things we learned at Art Center was projecting and tracing.
It works.
Big, yeah, and it's an illustration or a job format, like where the goal is a likeness.
Yeah,
like,
right. But
do we have to prove it, or?
Yeah, that's the thing though. Is like, I don't know. If, as an artist, you want to be able to do it without it.
For sure.
That's it's like, I want to, you want to be, if you care about the craft, you want to be as good as you can. And, so anyway, I forgot what my point was, but,
you haven't done it that much.
I haven't done
life.
Yeah. Which I would, I want to, but it's like at this point I've got this established kind of style that I've developed, and that's what people want more than anything. So it's like I don't even really get the opportunity to go, and I don't have to get the opportunity to go to classes or anything anymore, because I'm just like I have to keep working every single fucking day.
Right. Yeah, it's like, how do you have energy to put it into the fun side of art? It's hard. Like, it's definitely like I don't paint for fun ever anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I break out the paints when it's bill time, which it's always bill time, so I'm always painting. But like I'm never doing something just for fun. And as far as like oil, no, I'm not using oil paint for fun, that's for sure. I might mess with like another medium or draw or sketch on my iPad, because I don't have to clean up so much.
Right.
But I'm mostly like, that's how I got into blacksmithing and making knives, and I build guitars now.
You build guitars?
Obsessed. I mean, just like parts, casters. I even got some here. Like I'm just working on like parts of, and I'll do the lacquer work, and I'll drill out the dots, and
so
all this, and get them all set up and everything. Making guitars that look like old guitars, just because I play guitar and I can't afford all these cool old guitars or these custom shop Fenders, so I just build them because it's easy to buy a bunch of parts and just do paint jobs.
Yeah,
do the busy work on them.
I always wanted to build a guitar. I watch videos of people building guitars, and I'm like, man, it looks like so much fun.
These have been fun because I have like these Fender Stratocasters. I've always liked those guitars, so that's mostly what I've been building, like those style of guitars. There's a lot you can, still a ton of work, but like it's not like I'm building them from scratch because I don't have the shop for it.
But it's kind of like,
I would love to like do that.
It's kind of like building a model kit in a way, right?
Yeah, where you can totally swap out parts. You can buy the best parts, and if you can put them together well, and you know how to set it up. There's still a lot of little fine tuning, the frets and all that,
right?
And the setup, and just making sure they play right. Because like you can't just pop them together. And I still have to carve like the nut, and carve things, or shaping, making things fit. Sometimes you got to like figure it out.
Yeah.
Or a lot of electrical, like soldering. I've got it all, like my soldering wire and stuff.
That's the hard part, I think. Because I used to try and change my pickups. I remember trying to change pickups in these, like, I had this funky ass spray painted Jazzmaster, I think, that I got at a yard sale. It was like ugly blue. Nice. And I tried to put these EMG pickups. It's been a long time since I haven't played in a long time, but I had these EMGs, and I tried to put them in, and I soldered them, and I just could not get them to work. It was like, I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I didn't know. I mean, I only took like electric class in junior high where you make a little box that goes.
Yeah.
That was
I didn't
my
even get to
extent
do
of my,
that. I
that was
wish.
the extent of my soldering experience.
Yeah. I just learned for guitars, honestly. Like nowadays it's amazing. There's like YouTube,
I know it's
there's a million people showing you how to
everything.
solder better. And so yeah, and I love learning stuff. I
Yeah,
love like I'm a tinkerer, so like
me
tinkering on
too, man.
guitars is like, oh man, I could do this shit all day. Like it's what I was doing yesterday. Like I'm trying to build like a Stevie Ray Vaughan replica looking
Oh,
guitar just because
cool.
I've always liked his, and I had this old body that I kind of beat up to look like it. So now I've got like the parts for it. Yesterday I was working on and everything, and it's fun. I really do enjoy it, but I also need to paint more. I'm just waiting for this thing to dry behind me so I can get some layers on there and trying to figure out where to go with it. And actually listening to the podcast where you interviewed Mikey, it kind of gives me different ideas about him and how I want to
Oh, that's
maybe
so cool.
portray him. Because I didn't really have like there was no big plan. It's just like a mutual collector friend of ours that wanted me to do this painting,
Oh, cool.
and so I'm just kind of like figuring it out as I go. And I'm trying to
It's
do that more in my work in general. It's like I like having a plan and executing start to finish, but I also lately have been enjoying like letting the painting kind of dictate tell me
right.
where to take it. So
Yeah,
just sort of waiting for inspiration or trying a bunch of abstract things over and over and over till one feels right,
yeah,
which I
yeah.
enjoy.
It looks amazing already. It's funny
Thanks. It's just
because
a lot of red space, but like,
it's awesome. It's awesome. It looks great.
but we'll see.
I
Thanks.
like how you got so
Looks
close to the edge on the top of the head. It's like, I don't think I'd have the guts to do that.
in
You
the
know?
hand too. I wanted to make it feel tense a
Yeah,
little bit. I
yeah,
wanted to feel some tension, like his head's
yeah,
pushing, and then once we like the whole anxiety talk and panic attacks, which I get anxiety too. Like I
yeah.
for sure feel like this is better. Like there's just something pushing on him. The walls are closing in.
Right.
So now I'm like, I gotta like figure that out for what it's going to be. Is it going to be like characters, like shadows of characters like coming
Yeah.
out of there or something?
That's
I'll
so
figure it
cool.
out, but we'll
Yeah.
have to see. Or do I just cut the panel and make it skinny? Just like make the literal walls are going to close in.
Yeah.
But
What's the
now,
surface you're painting on?
oh man, so I'm painting now on this ABS plastic. This is the first time I've
Oh,
done it on like a bigger painting, but like
I've
it's
heard about
basically
this.
acrylic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people have been doing it for years, and I paint on acrylic grounds anyway, so the whole thing is acrylic. It's like that
Oh,
stuff is so
interesting.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically so you can sand it. You don't have to prime it unless you want to put it like prime it with a different color, but you can just sand it with like a palm, like a power sander. Like I do 220. I've heard people use like 150, but like
Mm-hmm.
220 makes it feel like when you look at the surface, if you do it evenly with the 220, because when you buy the ABS, it's really super shiny, like dry
Yeah.
erase board.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't want to paint on that. It'll slide right off
Right.
when you like over time. So sanding it just creates that fine tooth that the oil paint sticks to, and man, it sticks. Like it'll stain. It feels very absorbent, even though
Huh.
it's just plastic.
Crazy.
Yeah, I've been doing studies. All my studies in Rome this year were done on it, and it's just like if I have a medium, like I use this new medium from Gamblin because it's just a little bit of oil and solvent, and it helps it like flow better because that shit feels really dry usually. But I just like the fact that it's super tough. You can drop it on the corners. It's not going to like chip like a piece of wood. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
bend like people paint on dye bond now, which is nice too. That sign
Yeah, that's what I've been painting
maker
on.
stuff. Like it's cool. It's similar. It's got a plastic core to it.
Yeah.
It's just skipping the metal layer that bends if you drop
Right.
it. Like you throw this thing across the yard and it's not going to get messed up. The painting will get messed up, but the panel won't get messed up.
I gotta try that. It's probably
And
cheap as hell too, right?
it's so cheap, like because you can buy if you buy and cut down yourself, it's really cheap. But I could even order online just from I forget the name of the place, like American Acrylics or something. I just Googled it, and they can cut down like 9 by 12 inch panels. So I
Uh,
bring those with me. I sand them up, cut down. I think they're only charging about $2.50
yeah.
a piece. And I
That's
just went to go
crazy.
buy an ampersand gesso board from Blick, and it was like $25. I'm like, okay, forget it. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to spend $25 to do a half-ass demo, where I just sort of
Right.
showed something real quick. So now I'm using these, and the fact that like we cannot get plastic to biodegrade.
I know.
The panels are going to outlast the oil paint, I think. So
It's so funny.
so far, so good. I think they're great to paint on. It's cheap.
I gotta
I've
try that,
almost been
man.
thinking about like, yeah, give it a try. Like it's if you most cities have plastic stores, you can just buy stuff.
How do you cut it? If you do cut it
I
yourself.
have I have a bandsaw. It would be better
Oh,
if you had like a table saw. If you had a table saw to like cut like you would. You'd probably want to use more woodworking equipment. So I use my bandsaw that I use for metal cutting because that's just all I have. And
oh, okay.
we recently moved out of Southern California, and so like all my whole I have a
Oh,
shop full of equipment, but it's all in storage now. So I don't. Kind of drives me crazy where I do just need to cut something or sand something or grind something. I'm like, well, I can't.
where'd you move to?
I go cut. We're in Sacramento, of
Oh,
all
no way.
places.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't plan on moving. Didn't I just got kicked out of the house we were living in because they've been trying to sell it, and we went through like five realtors while we were living in the house, and it didn't sell, and eventually I think it became our fault that it wasn't selling. All those realtors were considered idiots one by one. The photographers were idiots. I guess we're the new idiots.
Wow.
We're the reason it's not selling, but so it's still not going to sell. That house is now just going to sit. But we were living out in the woods, sort of in the national forest up in Fraser Park on the edge
Oh,
of the
wow.
woods.
Huh.
On like, so we had to squeeze like a 3,700 square foot house down into a 1,300 square foot house, and that's why I don't have a shop now.
Yeah,
Just
right.
had to sacrifice. Like I can't. Like I need. This is the painting studio. Like I had a bunch of places to paint there and a bunch of places to work. And now it's like, I had some plans to do like this 10 by 12-foot painting. I don't have the space to do it
Yeah,
anymore.
I'm the same way. It's like my kid's old bedroom is my painting studio now. It's just like kind of a small
Yeah.
bedroom, and it's just like jammed with everything. But
Yeah, that's where we're at. We still haven't had the time to like put up shelves and stuff here
mhm,
because I was like, where do I dry all these paintings? I'm used to just sitting them everywhere. But so like I
right.
have a bunch just sitting over here on the floor, but I need to just I got a bunch. I bought some like back there. Those are like just like kind of crit rail style things to put
Hmm.
up so I could let paintings dry. But yeah,
That's
we're just
amazing.
really figuring it out. Like we moved here like a couple weeks before I left for Rome, so it was just a hustle to get like that five-bedroom house packed up and then move,
Damn, that
to
must have
another
been
part of
nice
the
having a
state.
five bedroom house out in
It
the
was crazy.
woods,
It
man.
was, yeah, we were on 5 acres. Yeah, I wasn't ready to go. Like I had a great, I had an engraving room.
Oh my
I had like
god, sounds
my
amazing.
son had his bedroom. I had like a room to build guitars in. I had a big garage for the shop. I could blacksmith do forging outside. I could big kitchen with an island. It was great, but we're glad to be in the city again. It was like
Yeah,
it took us an hour to get groceries. We had to go to Bakersfield. We
yeah,
have to drive an hour.
that's the drawback.
That's the only problem. Yeah, got used
Sacramento's
to it.
pretty more affordable, right?
That's why we're here. So my
That's
son's in up south of San Francisco. My parents are in San Francisco, so we were just trying to look on the map. Where can we get that's not 5 hours drive to my son or 6 hours, and we can afford? And like it just kind of kept coming up with the areas around Sacramento.
yeah.
And I never spent much time out here. I had a lot of family from out here, my dad's family, that I didn't really keep too much in touch with. But like the opportunity, like we were looking out here, and then the opportunity came up to like rent the house from a guy, like a friend of a friend, and we're just like, man, I hope that works out because it's like the perfect thing. We met him at a show, and he's just like, yeah, this guy, he's renting his house. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. I'm like, oh man, that's exactly what we're looking for
Yeah.
in the area. And so we eventually it worked out because we were looking at so many places and applying to all these places. And I don't know if you've rented in years, but
Not for
it's like what?
30 years.
Yeah, they're like we need 3 months of bank statements with
Yeah.
positive income. I'm like, oh my God, you're not looking into my bank accounts. It
I
feels a little
know.
intrusive. Like I don't even know you. And like
Yeah,
yeah, you might
yeah.
not rent to me, but you need to like look at all my bank accounts. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
I know.
Like
Totally,
I can
man.
show you I have some money to pay you, and that's it. But like
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. If you have the money, what's the issue? I haven't rented. We bought our house in 2002. 2001 or
Okay.
2002. So I got lucky, got right in before everything went insane. It's the only
Where are
good
you
financial
located?
decision I've ever made in my life. Monrovia.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
like
cool. I
east of
like it out there.
Pasadena. Yeah, it's really,
Yeah.
really cool out there. The shop I was in the 90s, the shop I was working at had a shop in Monrovia off Mountain Avenue. And so I was driving.
Okay.
We lived in Pedro. I'm from San Pedro. And so I used to drive
Okay.
like every day that drive. And then,
Well, that's
yeah, and then my wife used to drop me off. She'd go visit her friends in Hollywood. And then she'd drive around the neighborhood and she just found a cool place. She liked the neighborhood, so we just
awesome.
ended up settling here. Yeah, got lucky
That's cool.
buying a house. So yeah.
Yeah. I lived out in not that far east. I lived in Sierra Madre, but like kind of
Oh,
on
really?
the way down there. So I would spend time out there. Yeah.
When did you live
Yeah.
in Sierra Madre?
I was like through school. I was in like
Oh,
East
okay.
Pasadena, Sierra Madre, then Highland Park, Koreatown, like all
Oh, okay.
over.
Cool.
Before we were only in Fraser Park for like 3 years, but then I was in Koreatown for like 17 years in a one-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
And somehow that one-bedroom apartment spread out into a five-bedroom house, and now I couldn't get it back into a three-bedroom house. Like I had a shop at my one-bedroom in Koreatown, but I had two little studio spaces out back, but like they were pretty small, like 10 by 20, just like old converted garages. But I had like, I would forge in the city. Like it was kind of crazy. One time the landlord came, he looks in, and I had this fucking 2,000-degree fire blaring in underneath someone's apartment. He's like, maybe you shouldn't do that. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's modern. It's propane.
That's so funny. Damn.
Yeah, I can't believe I was doing that. But now I just like, yeah, I'd like to get back. I'd love to have a shop again.
Are you gonna
maybe.
get? Have you thought about getting I'm sure studio space is cheaper out there too. Have you thought?
It is, but like I'm paying more rent than I've ever paid because now we're in the city again. It's like
Okay.
I don't know if I can keep stacking on the bills.
That's why I'm in a bedroom painting. It's like, I'd have to, I don't want to pay rent on a space when I have this empty bedroom here, and
yeah,
and I can get right out of bed
enough.
and get to work, and I don't know. I like working.
Yeah. Me too. I don't think like in Koreatown it was cool because it was like there was a parking. It was like a fourplex, those old like 1920s fourplexes. Then a parking in the back, and then behind that was these three actually, just little 10 by 20s that were old carriage parking. I think from when they must have been because they weren't big, and so it was nice to like. I just had to walk across the parking lot, to get to it. It's
That's
separate
cool.
enough.
Yeah,
but like I could get, if I forgot something outside, it was a shorter walk than when we lived in that big house. I mean, in the big house, if I forgot something in the garage, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta walk all the way.
I've thought about
the garage.
I've thought about that before. Like you always dream about having a mansion. Everyone dreams about having a giant, amazing, or living in a castle or something. But you never think about having to walk all the way across your mansion or your castle to get one thing. It's hard enough to get up to go get something in the next room, let alone go way across your castle floor.
Yeah, there was a point where we moved that bedroom at that last place was so huge. It was like the size of a good size apartment. Crazy. And it was just a bedroom. So we moved an easel in there and had a work section in there because it's just like, it's like I want to just stay in this one huge room. And then we're like, we should probably get a fridge in here now.
Little kitchenette.
Like for real, it felt like it was too big. Like the day, so one of the big day we moved out when we had like everybody there in the house doing all this stuff, I clocked my steps. I didn't leave the house. I did 11 miles in the house. Like that's how big that house was.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was like 23,000 steps. I'm like, that was terrible.
That's insane.
Staying indoors and walking back and forth. It's just like, oh yeah, it was a little like it was cool, but it was a little too much. And I definitely spread out and took. We used one of the rooms was like full on storage of just paintings. Like I now have two public storage units because I just couldn't. There's just too much shit. Like, so speaking of like how many paintings you haven't done from life, I had like a stack of the larger size ones, and I counted like 700. I'm like, oh my God!
Are you serious? Okay,
that's just from my teaching career.
Everybody listening, I know there's many aspiring artists that listen to this podcast. If you want to become a great portrait painter, you got to paint 700 paintings.
And that's
at least.
And that's like
and that's not even all of them.
No, there's thousands, and that was just the one size. That was the one bigger
Amazing.
size. Now,
Amazing.
100. Then I'm like, oh shit, here's another box of just portrait paintings, and there was like another 150 in there. I'm like, oh my god,
so
like, how many
crazy. That's amazing,
how many
though.
paintings does one person need?
Yeah, but like, I heard that's what Hustler does to make. I mean, I've just heard it through the grapevine that when he needs money, he just sells one of his portraits because he's got like hundreds of portraits.
Yeah, probably. I haven't talked to him in years and years, but like, yeah, he was always kind of selling. I used to sell those a lot. Those were kind of my bread and butter, especially at workshops. You know, you can move a handful of them.
But I mean, you could just like pull one out and sell it, or a handful, right? If you
I do that every once in a while. I'll do that and I'll list them. And you know, the galleries were selling them for kind of a decent price, so like they kind of have a price that's. I can sell them for half, and it still seems expensive to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But you know, every now and then I'll do a sale and I'll put some up. Like I've sold in one day 10 of them, which is great. But then other times I do that and you sell none. You know, I think you put up some good ones. It's just hard. I can't really tell anymore. Like I would love to sell all of them. But
you could, what the auction houses, they do lots. You ever see, where
that'd be cool.
Where you just like a shitload of these paintings and it's, people bid on it, just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Make a
that'd be cool. I'd be happy to get rid of a lot of them if I could.
Yeah.
I don't need them. I mean, I'm paying extra rent on them. It's like,
right. They're costing you money. It's like the price of them is the price of them. If you factor in the storage, it's like it becomes every month, it becomes less and less you can charge, you're making from them,
Yeah, for real. I think I need to do that. I've thought about like doing something where it's just like, okay, well, $500, but I get to pick the painting.
Right.
Like, here's the 10 paintings that are going to go out, and you can pay $500 and I'll send you one. But it's even that seems like nowadays it seems like a lot of money for people.
Yeah, I know. That's
like
no, go ahead.
No, just like my gallery was selling those demos I was doing for like $4,000 a pop.
Wow.
Back in the day.
What size?
They're 18 by 24. They're a little bigger, but that was normal. It wasn't like expensive. I wasn't expensive compared to other people.
Right.
And they'd move them all the time. But now if I say that to somebody, they see me do a painting in 3 hours, they get $4,000, really? Like, I'm like, yeah, really? That's kind of crazy. Like,
but,
like, I don't know.
That's your prices are your prices. It's like they're supposed to go up. They're supposed to increase in value for your collectors and everything else. Right. And, that's the way it goes. But you get to that point where when your stuff gets expensive, it becomes harder to sell.
Yeah, and then you keep making it, and then you have public stores, and you've got
that's
thousands of paintings in there.
That's what I keep shifting things around because it's like I don't want to mess with my gallery prices.
Right.
So, but it's like, it's hard to sell even like a $3,500 painting for, 11 by 14. That's what $3,750. That's a fair, decent price for a good painting, but selling that direct is difficult. Finding someone that's going to pay that online. So it's like, first I switched to doing like, okay, I'm going to do these studies, 5x7 studies, and sell those for $700 or something, which is like a little more affordable. And then those kind of stopped selling. So now I'm doing these glow in the dark paintings and I'm selling those.
Yeah, I like that.
It's like this. That glows in the dark.
Yeah, killer. I saw that. That's so cool.
It's just
I love that. Like,
they're so fun. It's like it's kind of corny or kind of cheesy in a way, but I fucking love glow in the dark shit. I just think it's cool.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, yeah. I had an old roommate who was doing like blacklight paintings.
Yeah. I love that stuff. I love that stuff. But it's like I did that because I'm like, okay, I need to keep making money. The economy sucks right now, and I can offer these, and I have a frame I sculpted. So I could do these resin cast frames. So framed, custom framed for like $1,000. And it's like, that's a good price for something that looks good like that for that size. And it's like, that's the latest thing I've been doing. And then when those stop selling, I'll have to figure out some other thing, because I'm trying to do everything except the more expensive stuff, because people don't have the money for it, you know? So you have to kind of keep shifting things around and selling drawings or pen and inks or whatever to just try and make stuff more affordable.
Yeah, that's why I'm going back into the teaching a little more, you know, I think just because I've done it. It's something that's like I enjoy. I get good results out of people, and I've done it so long that like I think people are willing to take classes still.
For sure.
Maybe like, you know, the Italy class is a little expensive because that gets into like the $3,000 range.
Right.
You know, you're limiting who can take the class. But for these little ones, it's pretty easy. Or like I'm doing a workshop, a local workshop, like people, you know, it's like $400 for 2 days or $475 or something. Like people can do that.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's tricky, man. I don't know. Like like Kate and I are always trying to figure out like, what are we going to do next? Like, your teaching career. Like, okay, let's do it. More Patreon.
Yeah, that's the way it is. It's, you know, that's why I love this podcast, because everyone who comes on is so honest about it. And it's like, this is like 300 something. This is going to be like 330 something. Crazy.
Wow,
I've been doing it for 6 years, pretty much every week. And I've interviewed Brahm. I've interviewed Ron English, although Ron English probably maybe he didn't have the same issues. But most of the artists are like us, where it's like, how am I going to make money for the bills next month? It's just like, and I know people see you and think, oh, he's this, you know, millionaire dude that's, you know.
God, I wish. Fuck.
It's like, this is the reality of it. But, you know.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm not.
I think it's cool that I think it's cool. I think it's cool that, I don't know, people should see how it really is, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, there are guys that I've come up with that are probably making millions now, you know, but then it's like I look at what they do and I'm like, well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick to that one thing for so long. That's the other thing. Like I get, you know, I want to build guitars. I've tattooed in the past.
Oh,
I've
wow.
done all kinds of stuff. And like, I remember because you were talking about that with like Sean and Mikey, but like, yeah, it's like, I still think about that. Should I tattoo now? Because like you guys were talking about, because money's
right.
good. And like, I enjoy it. And clearly I like tattoos. I'm okay with tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
But the medium sucks, you know. The canvases are the worst canvas you could ever use.
Back when I was doing the tattoo shows, I had all the best tattooers saying, I'll teach you to tattoo, you got to do it. Like Sean, Paul Booth, all these like really big names in the tattoo world. And it's like, I actually got a bunch of equipment, and I had tried it a few times, and I was just like, this is too fucking hard. I couldn't afford to take the time to do it right now, because I have to just hustle. And I also didn't love it. I didn't love it. I like oil painting, just totally fulfills me. And it just seems like if I'm going to do something for money, I could just go back to makeup effects. And that's like, I could do that with my eyes closed. I've been doing that for so long, go back to sculpting and stuff. But so I just was like, okay, I bailed at the last minute, you know?
Yeah, it's same. I kind of like, I have multiple machines. I have a brand new setup from the guys, because I had Carlos Torres, you know him?
Oh yeah.
He's
so
he was taking so he was taking painting classes. He's like, you want to make money? I'll teach you how to tattoo. I'm like, okay. Like years ago, you know, like I don't know when that was, 10 years ago or longer.
Right, I know.
I'm like, all right. So then he started training me, and then I just like did it a little bit, and I have jobs out there I haven't finished, and big ones too. Like I still got to do. And I just like never did it enough to feel like the momentum felt good. Right. I hate cleaning. Like I hate squeezing out my oil paints. I hate cleaning brushes. It's worse when it's blood and disgusting. Like when you're done tattooing, you're like, okay, now I gotta like make sure all this your being is out of here. It's gross. And like, I don't know, aren't you breathing it when you're like, it's got to be micro splatters in your face too? It's just like, oh.
It's kind of gross.
It's gross, man. It is gross. So that part, you know, I mean, I struggle enough like figuring out ABS plastic versus canvas, like skin that's bleeding and turning red, and like,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
when people are hurting and flinching, it's just like, okay,
I
then
know,
just
right?
be quiet.
Isn't the fun thing about one of the things I love about painting is that I'm alone, and I'm just it's just I don't have to answer to anybody else, and it's like I can't. I mean, I remember I used to do like makeups on people in the film industry, like prosthetic makeups on set.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like I love the process of gluing things down and blending the edges and putting makeup on, but not when it's like, Jim Carrey or some actor that it's just uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable and they're not enjoying it, and you're like
Yeah.
having to glue around their eye and touch like that, and they don't like it, and it's
Yeah.
just like not fun. It like takes all the fun out of it. So I imagine tattooing would kind of be
Yeah.
similar, unless you knew the person maybe.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, I've tattooed most of the tattoos I did were people I knew in some way, and then it's just like it's fun, I guess. But then they maybe feel like they can complain more. I don't know.
Yeah.
You feel extra bad, like you're hurting your friend.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
right.
I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I still think about it because I still like tattoos, and it's not like I didn't find the medium. I think that maybe the first time I tried, I thought, well, this is pretty difficult, but it wasn't nearly as difficult as engraving metal.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw those
I felt
engraving.
like, man,
I saw you doing
yeah,
that.
thanks.
So cool. That portrait of yourself. So
Oh
amazing.
yeah, that was trying to see if I could do what I do with paint and engraving and like that
So
big, but
cool.
it's fun. It's just like I like learning shit, and because I
Yeah.
was making knives, I wanted to learn how to like decorate the knives even more, or decorate any
Yeah.
metalwork. I've
Yeah.
made little parts for guitars that were engraved too.
So
But
cool.
yeah, I mean, I think like tattooing felt decently comfortable for me to just do black and gray shading stuff. I don't think I would get into the color aspects of
Mm-hmm.
tattooing,
Yeah.
at least not for realism. I just like that part seems weird where you have to put like 100 different colors out and just try and
Yeah.
find the
I
exact
know,
color.
right?
You're not quite mixing. Like when I mix paint, like I'm very much like I need to get the exact color on the palette, then I put it down. But
Right.
if you're just kind of like guessing with like these little cups of color, it's like, man,
Yeah, yeah.
doesn't seem right. And I haven't seen a lot of like color tattooing that I think holds up so well that
Hmm.
like, in a way that like just because there's always this skin undertone involved. I don't know,
I
it's just
know.
different.
I know.
I think like the black and gray stuff looks great, holds up, and maybe minimal colors, black and gray and red.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even have like realism tattoos too much. I have like one I did and another one I got, but I mostly have like kind of the bigger, bold
Oh,
Japanese,
okay.
Asian,
Mm.
or like the American style, like
Mm-hmm.
big, bold color
That's
tattoos.
cool.
But I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's not my style.
I've heard that every tattoo artist, and I mean, I don't know. I've talked to a few recently, and they all say that they're suffering as well. So it's not like,
For
but
sure, for sure.
10 years ago, you're talking about you really could just learn and make bank. Probably spend a year and make a lot of money and just kind of save it up. But
Yeah.
they're hit hard too by the economy, from what I've heard.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely some of the biggest, most successful ones I know are saying the same things. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
surprised, but also not. Eventually the bubble had to burst. Tattoos got
yeah.
like really popular.
TV shows and shit about tattoo. It was like reality shows
Yeah.
about tattoos and tattooers.
Yeah, they're so mainstream. Like I think to not have tattoos now is way more unique.
I know.
Like
It's like
you're, you're like,
I've got two little tattoos from when I was 18. I got these two little tiny, like a
okay,
little tiny peace sign,
that's
and then this other little triangle. Oh, that's the peace sign.
oh wow,
My little triangle 5 thing. That's it. That's all I
oh
got.
nice. That's it. Wow, yeah, you're pretty rare there, like a unicorn.
But I mean, I do like tattoos, and I would love to get one, but I feel like I don't have time to sit. I really
Hey,
don't have time to sit and do anything. It's like I always have to be
and then
making
you
money.
heal.
Or no,
Yeah, I
just
hear
sit for the
that.
tattoo. Just to, I mean, I guess if I wanted to bad enough, I would make the time, but it's not
Right.
something. I don't have a lot of leisure time because I have to
Yeah,
just keep hustling all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
You know how it is.
I hadn't gotten any in years. Like I got tired of being tattooed. Shit hurts.
Yeah. I remember these
And it's
little
got to
ones.
the point
I remember what it felt like when I got these little ones. I was like, oh, it feels like someone's taking a sewing needle and just going like that over and over and over. And that was these like little tiny
scratching.
things. Yeah, scratching.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't gotten any in years, and then I don't know what made me decide to start my neck, like all the way around
I bet
my
that
neck.
hurt like hell.
I started it a couple of years ago, and I haven't gone back to finish because the guy's in Australia, and I just don't have the time to go to Australia right now.
Yeah.
But I was really scared of it, but I think the fear of that kind of anticipation was worse than the actual tattoo, so it wasn't really that bad.
Oh.
I mean, it's only line work so far, and it's very light, but we did like 2 days of 7 hours in a row, which I'd never done that before.
Damn.
So it's just a brutal mental game.
Yeah.
2 long days.
It seems like that could be.
But I know we have
interesting.
many more hours left.
No, yeah. I mean, I could see the idea of like trying to get in this zone as like almost a challenge, trying to maintain this meditative state while you're. It's kind of like going to the dentist in a way, getting a root canal.
God, I had my first root canal this year.
Oh man, they suck.
It was brutal. And what I found out too was not only that, mine was infected in my jawbone. The whole jawbone in here was infected. So they had to do this. So he had to do the whole surgery where he cuts the gums and scrapes them back and then drills a hole in the side of your jaw to meet where the root canal comes in and take the tip off from the side of your face. It was crazy. And I had to be awake the whole time. I could see like the smell of the bone and like the blood splattering on his glasses and shit. I'm like,
so horrible.
It's really gnarly. Yeah, fully awake, and they just scrape. You could hear scraping sound on the bone when he's first peeling my gums back. I'm like,
yeah. That's
I was like, I kind of wanted to see what he was doing. He's like, you don't want to see this. I'm like, is there anywhere online I can look up videos of this? He's like, you don't want to watch.
Like when they're filing, when they get these files, and it's like you hear this.
That was my first time, and it gets stuck, and he's just like trying to pull it out.
It's kind of traumatic, really. It's so violent in a weird way.
Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird that they can do this, and weird to me that like it was better to do all that, drill the side of my face, bone graft, and everything, rather than just remove the fucking tooth and the root. I don't know why.
Right. Well,
those guys, they'll do anything to save the tooth.
Yeah. Well, if they take a tooth out, it messes with the way your other teeth. It keeps your other teeth in line. So if you take one out, everything will start shifting and shifting in where that empty spot is.
Yeah, and I guess the alternative is an implant, and then those are just more expensive.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, they are very expensive.
That was my first big tooth thing. I had a crown already for years on it, and it just like, I don't know, I just kept having like this weird pain, and I'm like, it would be like this weird snap feeling, and then all of a sudden tons of pain, and I don't know what was going on. I think I had cracked the base or something.
Oh man.
I don't know. It was a mess. Hopefully it's fine. I still feels weird because I had stitches in my gums and stuff, so I still feel like scar.
Did you have to go to an oral surgeon, or was it just a regular dentist? Oh,
yeah, one of those endodontists. So I went to a dentist and they took X-rays. I'm not like, I don't have health insurance. I don't go. I don't need to know. I don't need to know that I have lung cancer or whatever I've got. So I just went to a dentist. I'm like, I got some tooth pain on my crown. I may need a root canal. Who knows? Because he just assumed that's what it is. And they took an X-ray and they're like, oh shit, like instantly. I'm like, what? It's like the big dark spot, like an infection is eating the bone up. So they're like, you definitely need a surgeon like immediately. And they called upstairs to another office of a different place and got me in right away. And it was kind of it was an emergency. Like at that point, I didn't realize. I was just kind of like, I'll just let it, like, I'll chew on the other side for a while. As my face is like swelling up, I'm like, oh shit, maybe I'm gonna die from a toothache.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's dangerous, man.
Yeah,
teeth stuff is dangerous.
I know.
It can be if you let it go.
Crazy. It's like right in your head. I don't know. I got a spot on my head that's like, I feel like it's skin cancer. It's like the same thing. It's like, I gotta go get it checked out. Yeah,
I know. It's like, I try. It's just, I have this of feeling like if I just don't worry about that stuff, I won't get anything. And I'm just like trying to avoid going to the doctor.
Sure. And I mean, I do think like, we can manifest all kinds of negativity. So can we like keep the negativity down too the same way? Like
there is something to it, I believe.
Yeah, like you hear stories of people who are like, they're fine, they're fine. They went to the doctor, told they have cancer, and then they die like in
Yeah.
2 weeks. You're like, wait, shouldn't have gone to the doctor. That's my lesson. Don't go to the doctor.
Yeah, it's also they
Take
talk about how
some
bad
vitamin C and
they talk about how bad smoking and stuff is for you, and it's like, you know what they never talk about is how bad constant stress is, how bad being holding anger in. It's like emotional things like that are probably as important as the physical things. And it's like,
for sure, I would believe that. Yeah,
I think a lot of people that, I know, I don't know, maybe I'm just
I
trying
think so.
to maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel better about smoking.
Whatever.
For so many years.
We both need it, right? Oh, so you smoke? You still smoke?
I'm trying to. I mean, I kind of quit and then I kind of started again, but I'm on a little vape now, so I'm
yeah. I do the vape for the weed, but not nicotine.
Yeah, I'm still
I
on
kind
nicotine.
of grew up doing that. Yeah, and luckily I never got into that. There's weird. There's like a period where everybody I knew smoked, and now it seems like hardly anyone smokes.
I know. I kind of like that about it though too, being a smoker, and it keeps people away from you. They don't like the smell. They're annoyed by it.
I've never actually minded it. I always kind of liked the smell a little bit, which is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up around it. In the 70s, man. Fucking everybody was smoking everywhere you went, in restaurants.
Airplanes and everything.
Airplanes.
The good old days.
Yeah. God, this is like an hour and a half. I can't believe it's gone so long. I went before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. See? Remember I was telling you how like, didn't I mention that people say they always forget, like it's recording?
Yeah. Keep going.
I just want to get I love to do a little shop talk before I let you go. I just want to know like what mediums you're using these days, what, anything, what kind of paints you like and stuff like that. I like hearing about that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I heard you talking. I think you guys were talking about liquid at one point. And
yeah.
I'm scared of liquid. As far as like somebody who's been around it, I would be very worried about the longevity of liquid personally.
Really? Why is that?
Just from things I've heard and seen. It was actually Hustler was using that stuff a lot, and he was having issues where like on his palette, just a little pile of liquid sitting on some paint, it peels right off. It does not want to adhere to oil paint. And I remember him sanding a painting, like sanding a section out of a painting, and it would just peel off in sheets. So once I saw that, like those two things, and I don't know. I haven't talked to him in many years because of some whatever. We just fell out a little bit, but he still used it after that. And I'm like, you just saw like the worst thing that can happen with using something like that. And one of my old friends who was he was into like the conservation side of things and just the materials and would talk to all the scientists, told me that they make it using nitrocellulose lacquer. And he used to tell me that all the time. And I didn't really know. He's like, it's guitar polish. I'm like, still didn't know what it was. Now I literally use nitrocellulose lacquer to paint guitars. And the reason I use it is, number one, it breathes, but number two, I can get it to crack. It cracks super easy. So if that's in there, I'd be even more scared to use it. So I use Gamblin products. Like I love the feel of liquid. That's the one thing. Like I like that feel.
I like that it dries. It dries overnight. That's,
Yeah, that's important too. So it's just like an oil modified alkyd resin, but I guess if they're putting other stuff in it, which I think is Winsor Newton. I've heard over the years them kind of putting, you can tell, you buy a tube of Winsor Newton paint this big and it's super light in weight compared to a smaller tube of a good quality paint. Right. It's like something fillers and weird stuff. Again, I like how their paint works. I'm really skeptical about a lot of their products because they're such a big corporation. So I use Gamblin products. I mean, I always used Gamblin. So they're like the Galkids. We got like back there a bunch of stuff on the shelf. Galkid is their version of the alkyd resin, but then they have. I started using a new product with them, which I don't have the bottle because I can't stand their new bottles. They're just like the child proof is like anybody proof. It's like they knew it too. They're like, let us know how this bottle is. I'm like, this is the worst fucking bottle I've ever Like it takes so much pressure, and I don't feel like I'm weak, but it takes so much pressure to get it to like catch. Like there's going to be plenty of old lady painters who are going to waste the whole bottle because they'll never be able to get it open. But it's called 3-in-1. Their new mediums are 3-in-1. So it's got the alkyd resin. It's got a lot of Gamsol in it, so it's very lean. And it's got, so the alkyd makes it dry faster. The Gamsol makes it thin and still dilute the paint. And then it's got a little bit of safflower oil, I think, for just the oiliness. Um, so you can use it for like underpainting. The thin stuff works really well. You can use it to you can take a piece of masonite or plywood and use it as the sealer, which is crazy. I never really
Oh, that is weird.
would think that putting something with oil in it would be a sealer. And they're, they do a lot of testing. I do trust them for the most part. And then you can use it for like oiling out when you're doing a second layer, third layer. You can use it at the end before you varnish to kind of even it out again so that all the pores are sort of evenly accepting the varnish. So I'm using that right now. I tested it for them, and I love it with the acrylic ABS because the ABS was so slippery. Or I mean, so absorbent, not slippery, the opposite. Really, like felt like the paint wouldn't even move that well in the beginning. So once I started using that medium with it, it's like, wow, it feels like I don't even think about what I'm doing. I'm just painting. And
wow.
The brush, it takes the paint well, not too slippery, and I can lay down thick paint, thin paint, no problem. So that's currently what I'm using. I jump between, like if I want to dry faster, I'll put more of the resin, the alkyds in it. So Gamblin's either their Neo Megilp, which is like the gel form of their thing, or they have the lighter. They have different, just like Liquid has the heavier ones and the thin ones, right? The fine detail and stuff like that. So I'll just make different mixtures of like oils. If I have a lot of time and I'm not worried about drying, I usually use walnut oil with solvent, Gamsol 50/50. Like I like that medium a lot. It's kind of my go-to just painting medium. It's thin enough.
Alkyd?
It's pale.
You said, what you say?
No, Gamsol with walnut oil.
Oh, with
just
walnut
some
oil.
sort of solvent.
Okay.
And, like a 50/50. I like walnut oil because it's more clear. So you're not putting like that amber color into your work that darkens over time. A little slower drying and a little thinner. So I just like that. But I would do the same thing with linseed oil at 50/50.
Okay.
And then for paints, I'm using all Gamblin everything right now, and I kind of always did use a lot of Gamblin because it's just it was available, and I think that it's a small enough company where they're actually doing the research and caring about their products. But now I work with them, so I'm part of like the Gamblin,
that's cool.
this inner circle.
That's cool. So you get free
it's like
shit?
Workshop guys. Yeah, I get free stuff. I get
awesome.
My medium. I get like a stipend or monthly, and then do stuff for them, little articles or testing.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
And just promote it. Yeah, and I like their products.
Yeah.
There's a couple of colors, like so the palette I was using that was like that big palette layout was the same one I learned from Hustler, and I'm not using the same colors as much because it's just like trying to do my own thing, but also Gamblin has a different set of colors. So mostly Gamblin paint. I'm using Trekell brushes because I still work with them.
Yeah, I like them.
I like theirs. I like their brushes.
I did the thing with them where I was I don't know, what do you call it? The pro team for like a year. And I was one short of a post I was supposed to make because they give you a certain amount of brushes. And then they dropped me after the year because I was shit, I forgot to do it. But I still buy their stuff. I like them. I like the brushes, and they're local, and they're American made, and they don't take long to get. So I still buy them, even though they kind of dumped me.
Yeah. I hear that. I'm waiting to be dropped. I just feel like it's become to the point where like we're too close of friends for them to want to do that. But if we weren't friends, they would drop me right now for sure.
Like I like the stuff though. I like their stuff.
Yeah, I like theirs too. I had like at some point I was using the Winsor Newton brushes, those little red handled ones, the University series. Like I think those perform great, and so I had been hit up by Trekell and Rosemary and Company to try out their brushes, and they both sent me brushes to try. I tried to get one similar to what I was using, and I used bristle brushes from like Robert Simmons. And I just found the Trekell. They were both very nice to me and sent me stuff to try, but the Trekell ones were more exactly like what I was already using. They performed the same, so I went with them.
That's cool.
And still use them. I mean, that's what all those are back there. Just tons of brushes. And Kate works with them too, so she gets them. We were always like, we got too many. There was a point where we had like, it was pretty cool because she's working with some other people so we were getting Fabriano, Sinelli, like Strathmore, like every art company we could get. Those Posca markers, they sent me stuff to do for the tool posters. And And yeah, it's just like amazing how many connections we had for art materials. General Pencil, they provide us with stuff for classes and
Amazing.
ourselves. And yeah, it's we're spoiled in that way. Like I had to buy some art supplies recently. I was like, oh man, they're expensive. I just I don't want to spend that much money on art supplies. But
That's
we
awesome.
kind of have to now. And then the ABS I'm using, I don't, what else do I have? I don't, that's pretty much my setup. I don't do a lot. When I draw, I'm still using General Pencil and all that, but
That's
those are the
great.
main materials. Yeah. And I paint on plywood still. I like, or masonite boards
Mm.
and things like
You
that.
never got
I
into the
like those. I do
ACM?
like a little bit, but not really. Yeah, no, I've just sort of like dabbled in it, but I never bought any myself. Like people would give me some, and I'd try it. And
I
even
like it
Trikel
because
had some of those too. Yeah.
I like it because you can buy the big sheet for like $100 or whatever, big 8 by 4 by 8 foot sheet, and I like the way you can cut it with a blade and a straight. You just cut it with a
Oh, that's
utility
all you're
knife.
doing?
Yeah, you just cut it and score it over and over and just snap it, or like bend it and
Okay,
it
crazy.
snaps, and then you
Yeah.
just
So
sand
you
the
could you
edges.
can do that with. I think you could do that exactly with ABS too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get
Yeah.
that website from you and where you
So the
order yours.
ACM is like Dibond. Dibond's just the name brand,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
think
Mm-hmm.
whatever
Yep.
the ACM stands for,
Aluminum
something something
composite
something
material, I think.
like that. But that does have the metal layer, right? The thin
Yeah,
metal
it's
layer.
like two aluminum layers with a plastic
Okay.
in between.
And you cut through that aluminum pretty easy. It's
Yeah,
probably as
yeah.
easy as
Just
the
kind of
plastic to
you
cut
just
through.
got to kind of score it over and over with a hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's really
Like a
I
good
like
straight
because
edge.
yeah, because I don't have a bandsaw, so I wish
Right.
I had a
Yeah.
band.
Or
I really
table
want a
saw.
bandsaw.
And actually, bandsaw or table saw for that would be good, except for the fact that metal conducts. One of my buddies brought some to Santa Monica College and cut it on their table saw. And you know how those ones have the motor that drops out?
Mm-hmm.
For like if you like touch your finger on it, it'll instantly drop the blade and break the motor. It's like
Oh
a
shit!
built-in safety. It's a built-in safety mechanism to save your hands, but he was using it in the shop, and because of the conduction through the metal into the hands, it broke the thing. It was like it's
Oh
a
man,
$600, $500 or $600 mistake.
jeez.
So yeah, you'd have to be careful using ACM and
Okay,
a table saw. Bandsaw would be fine if it didn't have a safety on it.
right.
I
Yeah,
need
it
all
just
the saws. I need a whole
I
shop again. I
know,
need like
I
every
know,
type of saw.
I know. I'm so now that I'm an old man, I'm so into tools now. It's like so. I totally get the whole
Yeah, I love tools.
tool
Oh
thing.
man, pandemic when I was on unemployment, I just bought tools. Bought a welder, bought I don't know, I bought all kinds of tools. I love
Yeah,
tools.
yeah, yeah. I need a table saw and a bandsaw, and I forget what else. There's another one that's on my wish list that
And
I.
a
Oh, a
chop saw, drill press,
drill press. I
drill
want
press.
because I'm
I
always
got my
drilling.
drill press, but not
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I want to get the small tabletop ones. They have even
Yeah,
the
yeah, they work
small
fine.
tabletop bandsaws too. That's like I'm not making
Yeah,
big
that's what I
stuff.
have. I have a portable bandsaw and I have it mounted to a table. That thing
Uh,
can cut steel, like it's
yeah,
pretty
they're
crazy
so
what it can
great.
do.
They're so great.
Yeah. Yeah, they're scary, but they're great.
I got spoiled in it when I was in effects. There was always the mechanical department that did like the robotics
Oh, I
parts,
bet it was
and they just had
top notch stuff.
everything. They had every
Yeah.
bandsaw, CNC machines, drill presses. It
Yeah,
was
that'd
just
be
like
cool.
fully stocked machine shop. So amazing.
Yeah, I love that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever been to one of those FX shops before? Have you ever seen?
I just think I don't know if I have fully or not. My brother used to date this girl when he was for years. You might even have known her, Amy Macabeo. She did hair. She worked with
Mm,
Kazu and a bunch of people.
yeah,
She was in
yeah.
that game for
Oh,
years
okay.
doing the hair,
I'm sure
doing
I've.
hair. So she,
Yeah, I'm sure
yeah,
I've
for
met her at
many
some point.
years. So,
Yeah, that's
but I hadn't seen her in years because they broke up many years ago. But like, I would always go over to the house and they'd have like some bust for some show that was laying on the table and she's punching all the hair and stuff.
yeah,
It's like, ooh,
yeah.
that thing looks creepy. Or I know they did like I know he helped her on like the Old Spice commercials of like the Centaur guy and
Oh yeah,
the big body. Oh, they were doing the hair for that. But
Yeah, they're pretty
I think
cool.
she was doing like
Effect shops.
Pirates of the Caribbean wigs and stuff for
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah.
Depp.
It's amazing the
So
detail they
I'm
put into
sure you
that stuff.
guys crossed paths at some point, but no, I
Yeah.
never really got into that. I mean, I'm interested. I think it's super cool. Like
Oh
I love that
yeah.
show. It's a show where they do that Face Off or
Oh
whatever. Is
yeah.
that the name of the shows?
Yeah, one of my
There's
best
that one
friends.
guy, what's his it's one of the guys who was one of the judges.
Oh, Glenn
Of
Hetrick.
course I know him. No, I can't think of his name. I should know his name.
Man, it's been a while since I've seen that
Oh my
show.
gosh. Yeah, I know his name. We were just talking recently, but he's a big time older guy, but he took one of my classes years ago too, which was so crazy and
Oh,
weird.
cool.
Oh, Neville Page.
Oh yeah, Neville. I know Neville. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. But like he took my class when I first started teaching. It's like I get crazy people taking my classes when I was just like, why are you in my class? Like I'm nervous here.
That's amazing. Well, if if I ever get an opportunity, oh, you're not, yeah, you're not in town anymore. I was gonna say I should take you by one of the effect shops because you would just, I know you would love it because it's like you're like me. You like seeing how stuff is made and
I
noodly
love that.
mechanical
Like how,
stuff, learning how things are made, and it's
yeah,
like so neat. Because effect shops are like art studios. They're just like old ateliers, but like with all this weird specialization. But
yeah.
it's like it's got a mold shop and there's plaster body casts, just like those old ateliers have, and all this anatomy reference, and they're super
Yeah, that
fun
sounds killer.
places. Yeah, yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I just went to a movie studio in Italy, Cinecittà, that like famous one that's out there. They've been filming stuff since the like
Is it
50s or
in
whatever,
Rome?
40s.
Is it in?
Yeah, it's in Rome.
I
So we
wonder
just
if.
went and visited a sculptor there and walked through the set, like the old ancient Rome set. It
No
was
way.
pretty
I bet
cool.
you I worked on that because I worked the first job in effects I did. I was 18 or 19 and I worked in Italy on this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the one. That's the
Yeah.
main studio that's been there since like
Yeah,
the
that's it. That's
40s
so
doing
funny.
famous
Yeah,
movies.
it's so cool. So
Yeah,
cool.
so we just went to one of the sculptor's studio, and then he showed us around. It was
Oh
cool.
yeah.
So I've been there, but like it wasn't like creature stuff as much as like he's sculpting more like sculpt things that look like sculptures for movies and
Yeah.
things. Or
It's
um,
awesome.
but yeah, it was pretty cool. Super hot there.
Yeah, it
Like
was
we're
hot when
walking
we
through that
went too.
studio, it's insane. And like I've
Okay.
been to like other studio, like design, like animation studios. Because my brother does stuff like for Simpsons and all
Oh,
that.
cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the opportunity will arise. Um,
Yeah, I'll come down. I'm just thinking about coming down and do some workshops because I got such a fan base down there that I
oh,
should
good.
not let go.
Yeah, for sure. I have to ask you too. Have you ever sculpted? Have you ever tried sculpting?
A little bit. Like I've dabbled, but not much. Like so, the guys I go to Italy with that sculpt, like David Simon. I don't know if you know his work.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
worked
sculptor.
with David. He got into
Okay.
effects for a short period of time,
Yeah, I remember he
and
was
we were
doing like
like,
Where the Wild Things Are and some
yeah,
other
we were
stuff.
like, what are you doing? Get out of here! You're
Yeah,
already doing the job we want. You're doing fine art.
yeah,
And he's like, what? This is
yeah.
great.
Yeah, I'm sure. So he's the one that put together the program that I do in Rome, and like he's one of my good friends.
Oh,
And like,
he's amazing.
so
He's such a
yeah,
great
he's
sculptor.
incredible. So getting to see him sculpt and like and then we're looking at Bernini's and all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's hard not to be inspired to sculpt when I go on those trips. Almost more so than, I mean, I was originally more inspired by the sculpture in Italy than the painting. Now I'm like really doing more studying of the painting and like getting into that. But I started sculpting one of the first years after we got back because I was just like, God, it's so cool what you guys do. But they're like, please don't start sculpting. We don't want you getting in the way of like of what we're doing, because you get good at stuff when you do it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, fine, maybe I won't do it too much,
Oh, you should.
but
You
I
should. It's
do.
so
I bought
fun.
I bought that monster clay because I want to try that stuff. Because I
Hmm.
want to try some smaller busts, like really cool. I bought some off of somebody, like a cool little Wolverine head they sculpted. It's a
Hmm.
magnet or whatever. Somebody I don't know where they're at, if they're like in Poland or Ukraine or somewhere out there. Really badass though, like really nice paint job. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
sculpt something like that. I want to do a little bust of like Caravaggio's face, looking all angry and beat up or something.
You should do it,
Just to
man.
try it.
Do you know Gabe Leonard, the painter?
I know of him. I've never met though.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He just started sculpting, and he's like, I don't even want to go back. He just wants to sculpt.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. That's what I feel like with guitars. It's 3D stuff. Awesome.
Little
Yes,
Albert
that's
Hoffman, inventor of
very
LSD,
cool.
and then I'm doing a little skull.
Nice. So those are rad. What kind of clay are you using for that?
This is Chavant,
Okay,
Chavant
that's
NSP
what I've used.
medium. This is the stuff.
Okay, yeah, I've used a lot. Used some Siobhan. I was doing one of my dog, a bust, but maybe too big. I should do some smaller ones.
Yeah, do them small like this because you can kind of hold them in your hand. They're not cumbersome, and you can, they're easy to deal with. And if they're getting if it's too warm and they're getting too soft, you can stick it in the freezer for a bit, and then it gets kind of hard again. Yeah, but it's so much fun.
I heard that monster clay is really too hard almost.
Do you have the hard or the medium?
I think I got medium just because I wasn't sure which one would be best, but I know you kind of have to heat it up.
It depends on how you use it. Sometimes you want it, if you're doing really small, like action figures, you want something that's almost waxy and carvable.
Yeah. So I want to carve a little bit.
Yeah. So it's like,
and that's what I think. Yeah. Carving. I don't know if I'd be better with more additive or subtractive, but
yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, the way most people I know do it is kind of like both, you're doing both. You're adding and you're taking back. But man, I think I bet you would do really well sculpting, I'm sure. And it's so much fun, man. And then once you figure out molding or you have things molded,
that's
you can
something.
Casts.
Yeah. That's the other thing. So my dad was a jeweler.
Yeah.
Now I want to make some small little wax carvings and do some castings too, like for jewelry stuff, like just cool little rings. Kate's been doing a little more sculpting too. She's mostly using like Sculpey, but we've definitely sculpted in the Chavant stuff before. And my son will do it when he comes to stay with us. We'll do a lot of like sculpting with the Chavant clay. And
cool.
So she wants to start casting stuff now too. She's also been doing like little eyeballs with the resin and the UV light and everything.
That's awesome.
So we've thought about like maybe I can sculpt a ring and she can make an eyeball. I mean, we could do kind of cool projects together. But we're kind of looking into doing some casting and figuring that out.
Well, let me know if you need any help with that because I've got a whole molding casting. I've got a guy now who does my molds because I don't want to. He's so good at it, and I don't have time. But I do all the casting.
It's worth it, probably.
Yeah, it's good to learn. It's if you like figuring stuff out. It's
I
really
love
fun,
learning
man.
stuff. Yeah. To me, like that's if I'll never stop like learning new things.
Me too. It's so much fun. So much fun to learn new things that you're interested in.
Yeah, definitely. That's the only thing worth doing.
I know.
Why else are we here?
That's why oil painting is so fun because it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm still learning stuff. The more I do it, it's like there's still different things to try, and it's still always a challenge. Even though even though you have your thing down and you can do it every time, you can pretty much do it. It's still like a challenge. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, dude. It's like you guys, I was listening to you guys talk about like the imposter syndrome and all that shit. And it's like, and you were saying how it never goes away. Like I've never felt less secure about my painting in my life than I do.
That's the other common thread, man. It's the other common thread with artists. It's insane.
Like I feel like I always feel like I can keep up with knife makers. I can keep up with some guitar builders. I can keep up with painters and drawers, but I don't have the desire to be the best at anything because I think that's a weird thing. But man, I feel like I suck at all of it. God. Especially even more so with painting. I feel like nowadays, maybe it was like just going to Italy, and seeing all this art. And then we have like multiple teachers that are with us, and there's so many badass ones. Everybody's so good. It's like, man, I got fucking around all year. I've been working hard.
I got to say all the best, because I worked with a lot of really good artists and effects, like sculptors and stuff, like really, really high level, the best guys in the business. And all of them were like, I suck because of Bernini, or because of, when you look at the old master stuff, all the best artists are kind of like, they're the best, and I'm doing my best, because like, you can't.
Forget it. Bernini's like, forget it.
Forget it. Just forget it. Just do your own thing, do your best, and forget it.
Especially when you start looking, oh wait, he was only 21 when he did that. Like,
and you know what? Did they even have toilet paper back then? I don't know. It's like, or electricity or whatever. It's like they didn't, they didn't have all these modern conveniences, and they
didn't have a drill or a table saw.
Palm sander.
It's crazy. Yeah, just the way they would drill those holes is crazy. Or sandpaper. It didn't even have sandpaper.
I know, right? And so I think that's not uncommon for really good artists to kind of, I don't know, to feel that way. Because
I get what you mean.
It's good to be that way. It's good to be that way in a way.
Yeah. Oh, I've definitely known a couple people in my life who get to a point where they're like, oh, I think I don't need to learn anymore. I'm a master. I hate the word master and all this stuff. And it's like, you can tell in their work that they suck, that they stopped learning and they just like resting on their laurels or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. It's weird to me. I don't like that weird mentality. Yeah. It's like a child who's like I was just like talking to my niece the other day. She's like, I can play ukulele. I'm like, but can you really? Like, can you play a song? No. Can you play a chord? No. Oh, you know how to do this to it? You know how to make a noise? It was just that kind of mentality. Oh, I can do this. Like, Can you? Are you sure? Like, I can't do shit. I'm trying to. But it's weird. Like hearing that from people who are like, oh, I don't need to learn anymore. Like,
okay. I think that's like, cool. That is the sign of a master, is that kind of, as a certain level of humility. I think the people like you are a master. I know you hate the word. I'm sorry, but I see
I'll
you.
Never say it myself.
I see you as a anybody listening knows you're a master at portraits, especially, but just at oil painting. And I just think that the real masters feel that way. Like, have a certain level of humility. I think the people that are like arrogant, they're never the best painters. You know what I mean? Just like you're saying.
Yeah.
They're always the one that is.
Yeah, I mean, because how can you grow? Like growth, you have to grow always until you're dead. I mean, you gotta keep growing, I think, and like chasing that thing and trying to like be better than you were. Like, I don't know. Every time, like this painting's driving me nuts a little bit. I like it. I think there's things like that, are probably as good as I've done. It's hard it looks like shit to me in cameras, but like
it looks amazing.
Also, like I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I doing? This oil paint is so weird, but it's not. I know how to move oil paint, but like, I don't know. I just want to be better at it, I think, or things do come out the way I want them to for the most part, but it just still feels like a struggle. Something I'll never achieve. Which is why I'm doing it.
Yeah, and that's why I love it so much. Is it's so challenging that it's just hard enough to always keep you interested, even when you're good at it.
Yeah, if it was easy, it wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
and I guess when other people think it's easy, they just do it, and then they have a career and they make money and. All fine, but to me, it's not really about that. It's just the challenge of doing things, I think, and enjoying doing things and I like making stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now I like making things that are 3-dimensional more than 2-dimensional. So
that's why I'm saying sculpture, man.
Yeah, I know. And I like how you sculpt parts of frames and stuff. I was looking like that'd be super fun to do.
Oh yeah,
kind of embellish frames with the corners and things like that.
It opens up a whole, especially when you learn molding and casting. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Because it's like you can and you can like sculpt something. Like I'm using this for reference for a painting I'm going to do. This Albert Hoffman.
Oh, cool! And, awesome. Yeah.
But I'm also it's the guy who invented LSD, so I'm going to make a mold, and then I'm going to cast a bunch of crazy psychedelic colored ones and sell those. It's like, it's also awesome. Practical that you can sell things and make affordable stuff,
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So
That's sort of what I was thinking about with jewelry was like, I can make multiples, but they can be expensive because people expect to pay
Right.
money for jewelry.
Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it'd be cool just because my dad was a jeweler and I didn't want to get into the business, but now I have like a jewelry bench out and we have a shed. So I put the jewelry bench in there so I could at least do engraving and stuff. But now I'm like, I want to build
Yeah.
jewelry. I just think it'd be fun to make little sculptures and
Totally,
ones you could
man.
cast. And
Yeah,
I don't
my
know.
friend's dad was a jeweler, and so he grew up around him. He was a good jeweler himself, and he had a little place in San Pedro that was like looked like an old, Pinocchio
Yeah, that's
workshop.
what I keep saying about my tiny shed. It's like I could at least be like a Geppetto little workshop.
And it's like I remember
Tiny.
the wax pot and injecting, and they made these little molds, and they would clean up the waxes and then do the investing in the plaster and then melt out the
Oh yeah.
wax and then shoot in using the centrifuge and shoot in the
Yeah,
molten
yeah,
silver.
pretty
It's
cool.
really cool process.
Yeah, I wish I would have like spent more time at my dad's shop, just kind of learning, like it's just, I think it's with my dad. You're just like, yeah, he kind of wanted us to maybe take over the business, but didn't at the same time. And like,
Yeah.
he brought us all down there individually to like spend a day carving wax and making a
Oh,
ring and all that. And like, to me, it's just like, whatever. It's what your dad does. And then now,
yeah,
like, I
yeah.
have all the same, now I bought all the tools that he had, like, it's like I could have had his shop. I could have, at
It's
this point,
crazy.
like I would have been fine, enjoyed like maybe even having the business and doing all the work,
Right.
doing that stuff, making stuff for people. Even just like repairing stuff sounds fun to me.
Right.
Like I love problem solving.
Yeah.
Like I just fucked up my neck, guitar neck the other day. Like I was trying to like remove the nut and like I didn't cut the glue enough and I popped some of the wood off. I'm like, God damn, I ripped the fretboard out of my guitar. I was just trying to change the nut. But like, all right, well, we got a new problem to fix. So I fixed it. It looks fine. Today it's fine.
That's
And
great.
continue on. But I like problem solving. I like a little bit
Yeah.
of that shit. So
I like
I don't know.
taking
I can see.
when
I don't know.
I used to take stuff apart when I was a kid too. Like everything I would take
That's
apart to try and
that's like
figure out
what
how
my
to
son is like. Yeah.
I just take my
It's
bike
funny.
apart
Like,
and all the bearings and everything and put it all back together just to
oh
like
man.
see how it worked,
Yeah, that's cool. It's funny. Like I'm that way now, but like as a kid, no, not at
No?
all. Like I was the opposite. Like if you build, once you build a Lego, never ever take it apart. It stays. Where my son would build it and then instantly take it apart and build something new out of his imagination and build
Right.
something incredible too. Where I was always like, let's just do it the way we're supposed to do it
That's
and leave
funny.
it. And I never took shit apart if I didn't have to. But now I'll take everything apart. Like I do
Yeah.
love it now. Yeah,
It's
it's
so
interesting.
interesting. Yeah. Damn,
Some
well,
people like took the action figure heads off and swapped them or whatever. I was just like, nope, this head goes with this guy.
yeah, I love how people customize stuff like that too now. Customize existing toys and put new heads on them and stuff. That's the other thing
Yeah, yeah,
once you
definitely.
learn sculpting. If you ever get into sculpting, seriously, let me know because, well, David Simon. He probably would tell you everything you needed to know, but it's
Yeah, he's
really
like, don't
fun.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I actually do want to build like some little like 1/6 scale model heads and then make the clothing and shit. Like I think that'd be kind of fun. Just
Totally, man. Yeah,
I
I'd
don't
love
know
to
what.
make marionette puppets would be really fun. And
Oh yeah, I follow a
yeah,
couple people that do that.
yeah, Handsome Devil. You ever see Handsome Devil's
Yeah. Oh
puppets?
yeah. Yeah.
I've had her
Yeah.
on the
Yeah. Yeah. Those are
podcast
so cool. I did. I think I
early on.
downloaded the episode I downloaded episodes of your podcast of the people I kind of knew or
Oh,
followed just so
okay.
I could have them saved when I'm traveling.
Oh,
Because
cool,
yeah, they're
cool.
super fun and I want to listen to that one. But
She
my last
loves
drive was only
puppets.
like 3 hours. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right.
Those are amazing. I can definitely
It,
see getting into that kind of stuff.
that's the thing I remember about that interview is that she's just so loved puppets. Like she's all about puppets, and it's just like you could
It's
tell
amazing.
she's so happy when she makes puppets. It's like this is how it should be. You should feel this way about what you're
Yeah, yeah,
doing.
that's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah, I
super
can't wait.
cool. Yeah, it's a good one. But anyway, I kept you way too long. It's like 2 hours. I apologize for that. But
No, no problem.
I'm gonna hit you up in the future to come back on again, because I kind of feel like we could have probably talked another 2 hours. So I probably can get another episode out of you.
Yeah, I'm sure we got plenty of shit we didn't talk about.
Yeah,
like my other job, I'm designing coins for the United States Mint. It's another thing I don't talk about much, but it's
Are
a
you
whole
serious?
job I'm working on right now. Yeah, so that's another thing.
Damn.
I'll have to get permission to talk about it or whatever.
Okay, we'll save that
in a certain way. Yeah.
Save that one
maybe
for next time.
after I have some stuff to talk about. Yeah, but that's an interesting gig I'm doing. That's just like, because I need to do other things, and that was a great like how it's made episode going to the Mint in Philadelphia and like seeing how it's made. It was like, this is cool. Felt like I was in an episode of How It's Made. I could hear the music going as I was walking through. But yeah, I'd be down to come on anytime. We can chat about stuff.
Excellent. All right. Well, don't hang up when I stop recording. I always forget to tell people that. But the last thing you have to do is just say goodbye to the audience in whatever way you want to. Just say goodbye to the audience, however you want.
Okay. Goodbye, audience. Thanks for joining in.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening.